you would see me taking a shit in the back. I was like, I'm just gonna close my door.
I saw you fucking with it. So
I don't know if you saw a light go on in the back, but
no, I wasn't.
That was me taking a shit.
I wasn't that hardcore paying attention, so I didn't care.
Oh shit! Are we getting the voice thing again?
What voice thing?
Should not. The offset that we had on our first episode. No, we're good. I forgot to check that, but we're good.
No, we're good. So hi guys, welcome to Talking Guns episode number 3.
Yeah, buddy.
So a whole slew of things, at least on my realm. Fighting this fucking sickness, you have to deal with me. I'm kind of like just kind of reclined here, trying to make sure I don't get a headache or like pass out from like faintness or whatever. So, but you know, I'm gonna let. Oh, yep, you saw it. You're seeing it right now. Yep, there it is.
All right.
Goddamn
corner there.
Goddamn corners.
Yeah. Talking Guns number 3.
Yeah. So,
yeah.
Ooh, junkie, look at that. So, I'm gonna let Nade rifle through the stuff because my brain's kind of mush, so he's gonna keep me on task.
So, Assassin's Creed Odyssey.
Assassin's Creed Odyssey. Have you played it?
No, I have not.
All right. So, what do you want to know? You want to know my impressions? You just want to have a discussion about Assassin's Creed Odyssey, all the fucking talk about all this hoopla and stuff, seeing me Spartan kick motherfuckers off cliffs?
Yeah. Well, we had a... Oh, that was a clip. My bad.
Yeah, it's a clip.
Motherfucker. We had our discussion before, and I felt like maybe some people thought I hated the game. That's not the case. I'm just more of a, I like to get into the nitty-gritty details of a design of a game, and I can still love it. Kind of like after the fact, Justin had brought up on his stream, like, well, Nade, you play Destiny. Oh shit, and more biddies.
Yeah.
Well, thank you. But yeah, so like, well, it's again, it's design elements that bother me, but I can still enjoy a game, and I'm sure I would love Odyssey. I'm sure I would. And there we go. That's your last stream of it.
Yeah. Well, I saw Angry Joe's review, and I'm pretty much on point with that. There's what I feel about Assassin's Creed Odyssey the game, and then what I feel about Assassin's Creed Odyssey's microtransaction system. Assassin's Creed Odyssey the game, if you buy it, it is my fucking opinion that you will get your fucking money's worth and you will love the fucking game as just the game its fucking self and nothing else, without factoring in anything fucking else. Now, people talked about how the grinding and everything else about it. I come from the old school line of gaming where grinding is expected, you know, so basically it doesn't bother me as much as maybe this new generation does, or maybe it just doesn't affect me as much. People are like, well, you have to do the side missions to do this. I can't just go do the main story and just do that. Well, I don't ever just want to do the main story of these games anyway, so it's like it's irrelevant to me. So you're gonna get your fucking money's worth. Let's just put it that way. There's a plethora of shit to do in this game. A plethora. The flip side, I don't support the microtransaction system at all. I think that fucking needs to go, and I don't like the fact that it keeps creeping more and more and more into the fucking games. It's fucking atrocious garbage. I hate it. But do I think Assassin's Creed Odyssey is garbage? Absolutely not. I absolutely think it's a game of the year contender. It really is. So, but that microtransaction system needs to fucking that still irks me. But as far as the game itself, it's fucking phenomenal. Bottom line. Bottom fucking line. Should you buy it? Yeah, you should. You should. That's my fucking verdict.
And I found out after the fact that apparently Origins had that same shit in it.
Yeah.
And I just never even noticed. So, like, there you go. Didn't affect my gameplay. I didn't even know about it. Yep. You know, like, oh, okay, all right. I didn't know there was time savers and all that stuff. So,
yep.
But it's still a game that you can get a ton, like you said, a ton of time out of. And I mean, any video game is what you make of it anyway. So,
well, my thing is I'm very particular on that $60 price tag nowadays. Like, if I'm gonna pay $60 for a fucking game nowadays, that price tag better be warranting it, because I have like other games I've spent $20 on and gotten a lot more playtime than I have other $60 games. So it needs to warrant that price tag, and this does. I can honestly, it does. I'm not gonna buy any. Now, I don't buy season passes for fucking games until after the content's already released. I don't do early season pass bullshit. I don't do that. I don't.
Yeah.
If it's gifted to me, that's another thing, but I don't. The only last game I did that for was actually Escape from Tarkov, and that game's not even finished yet. So it's with the understanding of others of advanced purchase and whatnot. And that was a long time ago anyway. But
well, there's also the whole DLCs affect the game in a way that I personally don't want most of the time. So I won't buy the DLCs for my first time through.
Yep. So I won't buy season passes. I won't buy anything else unless I know it's coming. Actually, that's not true. I did buy Far Cry 5 season pass after 2 DLCs were already pushed out, though. So that is true. I did buy season pass for Far Cry 5. So, but I knew what content was coming. So yeah, and certain European countries have actually banned microtransactions in certain games and stuff as legal gambling. So I mean, but you mean the loot box system, right? Microtransactions as far as the loot box system, yeah.
Well, that puts. I mean, think about where that puts the dev though, because the dev is in a position where like, all right, is it worth taking it out for that one region, or are we just not going to let them play the game? Yeah. Like from a grand scale business standpoint, that one country, but I think it was Belgium, was one of them that did that with Overwatch or something, and it was like, I mean, if I was the business, I'd just be like, fuck it, you just can't play the game then if you want to be like that. This is our business, so I'm not gonna. No, the revenue we would get from you is not worth making a system like that, and the controversy it would cause with like other countries being like, well, why can't we have that version too?
No. It's just a sad fact that if it's going to generate more revenue, it's going to be businesses are in it to make money. I mean, being a business owner myself, I want to make money. I want to make a profit. Every business owner wants to make a profit. Why, and it's just a matter of if you're going to buy the microtransactions, they're going to shove it in there.
Yeah.
So, yeah, it's a mixed bag, and just whatever. Do I like them? Oh, I fucking hate them. I hate them in full price games, definitely. That's my issue. I don't have a problem with microtransactions myself on free to play games or cheap games to get that little extra revenue. Obviously, with free to play games, I have zero problem with microtransactions. But in a $60 full fledged fucking game, I have an issue with that. I do. I really fucking do.
Yeah.
But
and like. Yeah, I mean, like we talked about last time was, I mean, there's those of us, the hardcore gamers that have a problem with microtransactions and stuff like that, but they're still making fuck tons of money off of it. I think it was it EA or Ubisoft that said that they made more money on microtransactions than they did game sales?
Probably EA. Because EA is the evil empire, as everybody keeps referencing.
So,
sure
I mean, like, when that happens, it's just like, well, I can't fucking argue with you then. If people are, like, if you're making that much money off microtransactions, the proof is in the, wallet pudding, I guess.
Well, it could have been Rockstar, too.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, speaking from a strictly business sense, not predicting the future, I can almost say with absolute certainty that microtransactions are not going to go away any fucking time soon.
Yeah. Games as a service.
That's just...
Yeah.
Does that mean it's not going to change? No. Does that mean you should be accepting of that? No. Does that mean, it's right? Not necessarily. I don't know.
Yeah. So maybe at this point it's more of a how we argue constructively what's okay and what's not okay.
Yep.
And like middle ground instead of just like, you're the fucking devil, I hate you because you don't do what I want.
Well, there's a lot of like emotional fucking outbursts going on lately in society, so it's like, fuck you. So
yeah. Well, the trolls are louder in anything. Because it's easy to be a dick butt than to be constructive.
No.
Yeah.
No. But bottom line,
which is,
I would encourage you to play this game. Absolutely. Yep.
Yeah. I mean, I want to play it. I've got other stuff right now, but I really want to play it. So,
yeah, I would.
Regardless of everything we've talked about, I really want to play Assassin's Creed Odyssey. I do. I really do. So I had asked, trying to find somebody that was playing as a female in this game, what the difference is. Is there any difference there in design other than you're just a woman?
What's the difference in playing a female?
She?
Dialogue's apparently snappier. I don't know. Dialogue changes.
I remember with Fallout 4, it was, I mean, when you played the woman, she was actually, when you did this, the snarky thing, she actually put personality into it versus the guy that was just a little fucking wimp. So I wonder if that.
I hated Fallout 4's fucking voice acting shit, dude. I hated that. Fucking goody guy had to be the, you know, that thing.
Yeah.
Killed the role playing fucking opportunities for me, even though I'm playing Snake Plissken. So.
Yeah. Well, but oh god.
Oh my god, fucking Good Samaritan. Don't force me to play that.
So it would be interesting to see maybe after I've played as a male and talking to, or maybe watching more people as a female or something, see how that changes. So.
Yeah, dude.
What is that little spear on your back? It's like a short spear, like a broken spear?
That is, I can't tell you because of the story element.
Okay.
So.
All right. Fine.
Can't tell you. It is what you think it is. I'll just put it that way.
Okay. All right. It is what I think it is.
Yeah.
Well, there you go. There you go. Yeah. I mean, we've already talked about Assassin's Creed Odyssey quite a bit. At this point, it's more of just, I guess you're just going to have your own opinion and play it.
Yep.
Oh. Yeah. Oh, I do have one question before we move on, though.
Okay.
Do they get into, like, Greek lore like they did Assassin's Creed Origins and the way they did?
From my understanding, Greek lore, what exactly are you referencing in Greek lore? Are you talking about the Battle of Thermopylae? Are you talking about mythical beasts, all that stuff?
Yeah, the mythical side.
There is, and that's all I'm going to tell you.
Okay.
There is.
Okay, because Origins had, like, legit, you fight fucking gods. Egyptian gods.
From my understanding, not as epic, so like Origins, you were fucking fighting Anubis and shit, right?
Yeah.
There is, you know, here, I'll throw you a bone. Minotaur, yes. Fucking Medusa, yes. And then that's all I'm going to say.
Okay.
Have I encountered them?
No. I was have to play it for myself to see it.
Do I know?
But I was hoping it was like, I was hoping it was like legit, like fucking Helios or whatever.
Don't know.
You know, like all the gods and stuff. And so we'll see. We'll see then.
Yeah, don't know yet. Don't know.
We'll see. So I've got a lot of questions about Black Ops 4 since it's come out.
Oh man.
Yeah, I've got a lot of questions for some stuff there.
I think I poured like 60 hours into it over a weekend. So yeah, ask me whatever fucking questions you want.
Come on. There we go. So, my first question when I was watching was, how are there any changes to between the game modes that there are in Black Ops as far as like gun mechanics? Like I heard Big Head was talking about there was a thing with the optic change versus solo and multiplayer. Like how does that stuff change when you go from like zombies to blops or no blackout? My bad.
Drastic differences.
Okay.
Blackout mode has specific optics and everything else tailored just for that mode. You're not going to have it in their mode. When you start playing TDMs or whatnot, you're going to have different fucking unlocks and different perks and everything else that aren't going to translate anywhere else. And then when you go play zombies, there's going to be certain things that are going to mesh, but there's also certain things that aren't going to be in another mode. So basically, you are literally getting 3 different modes. So, for example, in TDM or whatnot, I might use a recon optic that will transition between ×2 and ×4 magnification, whereas in Blackout, that's not an issue, and the reticle is completely different.
Okay.
There is no optic that currently does that in Blackout. So, you know, when you ×2 optic is a ×2 optic. You know, ×3 optic is ×3 optic. ×4 is ×4. So, whereas, of course, it being more TDM based and whatnot, it's going to go back to more traditional Call of Duty stuff. Okay.
So would you say moving forward, hopefully that when they make changes to those, it'll be per game mode, not across the board, if it affects one negatively?
I think they've kind of gotten that down. Big issue right now is the blackout latency. They're adjusting that. Also, a lot of the quality of life improvements that you had in beta aren't really prevalent right now. For example, the big thing everybody talked about was being able to swap your weapons and have all attachments carry over. That's not a thing right now. I don't know why it's not a thing. It was one of the big selling points to that, kind of like Ring of Elysium did, and I don't know why the fuck it's not in there right now. So that's kind of a shot in the dick in it, but it doesn't really affect it too hard.
Maybe they're having problems with it.
I mean, they are having problems. They were having looting problems before. They were having all kinds of other stuff going on before, but I think they're actively working to resolve it. I think they're just right now attacking issues and I'm sure it's going to come back. I mean, it needs to come back. So, but yes, the modes are drastically different. So like you get sick of one, you can always play another, and they're all fun. They're all fun to play.
Good, which is what I like in a game like that.
I mean, when I was playing S&D, especially, it brought me right back to my competitive days for game battles, and I was doing COD 4 and World of War, and I was doing fucking. I didn't do Black Ops. I didn't compete in Black Ops. I did Black Ops 2. We did game battles on an MLG circuit for that for hardcore S&D. The shit just kind of took me back, man. It took me right back to it, back to those old days. So obviously the health changes and stuff like that. So it's definitely worth it to me. Just for the free variety of modes. I think if they would have split it off and sold these modes separately, like if there was a question about doing that, it's like I don't think it would have had the impact. So, I mean, I keep firing it up, I keep playing it, I haven't gotten sick of it, or I'm just like, fuck it, I don't want to touch the game anymore, or something like that, because, you know, I get pretty particular. So,
okay.
I'm just
going to write that down really quick.
Yep.
We might need to get a, like, submit questions thing.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So, is there any kind of, like, progression or something I can earn that carries over between modes, even if it's cosmetic? No. So, like, I can't earn something in Zombies that'll be on my character in Blackout.
Correction. You can earn characters in zombie mode to carry into Blackout.
Okay.
Cosmetically. So, if you want to play a certain avatar, yes. It's the only thing I know of right now.
But I can't, like, for example, if I do a certain achievement in Zombies, I get something for my dude, like a zombie mask that I can wear in Blackout.
From my understanding right now, no.
Okay. That's what I want to see in stuff, you know, like, I'm getting tired of this, let me go grind this. I'm getting tired of this, let me go grind this.
I'm sure that's probably going to come because they're already doing avatar creation. So,
okay.
There's no reason why they wouldn't do that. But right now it's just an entire avatar skin as opposed to cosmetic items. So
I'm sure they got enough on their plate right now anyway.
And I haven't seen anything. I didn't even know I didn't even know if Blackout has a storefront. I haven't seen a storefront yet. The only thing I've seen on the storefront is, do you want to get the season pass or not? So I don't see microtransactions. I haven't really looked that hard to see if there is any or not. I haven't seen any.
Wait a minute. A Call of Duty game not shoving microtransactions down your throat?
Yeah, you might want to clarify on that one. I didn't even bother looking at it to see if they have one. I don't think they have one.
Well, you would have seen it by now.
Probably would have, but yeah, I have yet to see where you can spend microtransactions on even cosmetics right now. I haven't seen it, but I haven't really looked that hard. So I do know you can spray paint your weapon and shit. And do custom decals and stuff, which I haven't even fucked with that either. So like, the funny part is I've dumped so many hours in this and I still have not seen everything. Zombie mode is fucking in depth as fuck, man. It's insanely in depth this time around with just the stuff like elixirs and stuff you can pop. Like different class based systems now that have different perks on them and stuff. Hi, Scott. And hi, Uncle Jay and Nade. Yeah. So we're paying attention to you, chat. We're just we're trying to keep the conversation flow going, and we're just rolling through.
Yeah.
We see you.
Yeah, we got a lot to get to. So if we didn't, we'd just be like a 6-hour thing. So.
So But yeah, I mean, in a nutshell, I've played so many hours of it, and I still have not seen everything there is to see with this game. So it's pretty packed. I haven't figured it all out yet. So I played like 2 zombie modes, and I had fun with it. Played a lot of multiplayer, and played obviously a lot of fucking Blackout. You see me missing horribly there. That was pretty bad. So, but yeah.
It does look fun. Every time I watch you play it, I'm like, I want to buy this. I want to buy this. But I shouldn't yet.
I mean,
because I got enough stuff to play.
I mean, I don't know. I think my Fallout 4 Snake Plissken playthrough is about to fucking not make it either. So, yeah.
Yeah.
By November 12th, I don't think it's gonna happen, man. I don't know. I'd have to like no life that shit. But I'm still gonna go back to it.
76.
Yeah. So, yeah. Which 76 again? I mean, if you're thinking it's gonna be like Fallout 5, you're fucking wrong. Stop it. Don't do it.
Yeah.
Don't do it.
It's not. And I think too many people are getting hung up on that.
That's fucking killing me. It's like
it's not going to be a story game.
Like, I mean, I don't know. I think you saw my stream before. I was yelling at this motherfucker. He was just like, "Oh, well, there's this, that, and the other." I'm just like, it's not a fucking RPG-based, story-based RPG. It's a survival game. Do you see the hunger and water fucking icons right there? I don't remember what the fuck he was talking about. Something about being a downgraded bat system. I said, "You're lucky they even have a bat system, bitch." Like, what?
Yeah. And how dare they try different things?
He's like, "Oh man, it just seems like the loot's too sparse." I'm like, "It's a survival game." You fucking kidding?
You're not supposed to walk into a factory and like walk out with 500 pounds worth of shit, you know.
Jesus, like,
yeah.
All these arguments, I'm just like, do you know the caliber of the fucking game you're playing? These are all staples in every single survival game you play. Resources are scarce. Fucking, there's no fucking like all these skill-based shit, or not skill-based shit. Like there's not like I mean, there's RPG elements in survival games, like there's skills you can level up and stuff, but mostly it's not like the RPG mechanics where like if you level up, well, they kind of marry each other to a certain degree. Like 7 Days to Die has a skill system, which increases proficiency with stuff, but at the end of the day, though, it's survival through and through. So
yeah, and I think they chose a great time period within Fallout for Fallout 76.
Yeah,
since you're the first vault to open up. So
yeah.
So boom. I mean, there's not a lot to know about Fallout 76 yet. A lot of people are still under NDA that got to play the stress test. But from what I've heard about people playing the stress test, it's kind of like,
well, I mean, and I see it there. It's like the fucking the frame drops and stuff. I get it. But a lot of the other gripes, I'm just like, these are survival game staples, guys. Like, come on.
Well, a lot of these people probably that played the stress test did not watch the No Clip documentary about Fallout 76.
No.
Which went into detail about Fallout. The game was not built for multiplayer on a base level, and in the documentary, you guys should watch it. Because they went to Bethesda before they even announced Fallout 76, and they filmed it all and put it together, then released it shortly after its announcement. But they had like the world, the way that Fallout works is it's built around the master person, the player.
And the vault
so
dweller.
Everything, so like events, the world itself, like outside of you does not exist until you get there, and then it loads it and stuff. So now they have to like completely build an engine, the way the engine works, to have multiple people. Which is why they have the stress test to really, try it out and push its limits and stuff like that. So.
No, and like I said, and that's where people don't get it. It's like a lot of the story elements from survival games is generally it's very sandboxy, and so it kind of lets the player base make their own stories. And like we were talking about earlier when we play Scum. Playing on an RP server and doing what we do, we kind of create our own little story by that with our interactions with each other and stuff like that. It's we kind of just facilitate our own little environments and our own little fucking ways of doing things and our own little atmospherics and stuff like that. Let's just drop you in this and you kind of build your own storyline. But here's all this cool shit you can fucking do based upon a premise of something. So like, you know, like my Taxman character, you know, if I wanted to play a bandit kind of guy, or you know, someone wants to play the hunter or the trader or something along those lines, you just kind of evolve and weave your own story, and that's more. It's more entertaining to me to have to be able to do that as opposed to, and that's survival games as a whole anyway. You know,
which is not what Fallout was ever before. It was a very structured world.
No.
Where you just go and find out what's in there versus you making it.
Well, I mean, and there's changes all the time in the Fallout universe, and that's why I said, like, if you're bitching about, oh, why did they decide to change the Fallout formula? You know, Fallout 3 and 4 work just fine. I'm like, well then, okay, I guess by that logic, I can bitch about Fallout 3 and 4 because they changed the entire logic, the way the game was played from Fallout 1 and 2. So if you want to stay true to your origins, it should have all been an isometric RPG and should have been turn-based. So, you know, changes are going to happen.
So I guess we could jump right into from here. We'll mix up because we kind of where the topic went. We could kind of go into. I have been playing Fallout 1. And it's interesting to see how that's changed and stuff.
Yeah.
A lot of Destiny 2. Destiny 2 got award. Fallout, there we go. So Fallout 1 gives no fucks about making you feel good.
Welcome to old school.
It also gives no fucks about being fair. I did not need a manual to play it. I thought I was going to.
No.
I'm sure if I wanted to get down into min-maxing, I could. But, like, for example, when you travel, you randomly get encounters. And most of the time, those encounters will fucking kill you if you don't run away. I did use one to get my companion killed so I could take his shit.
Every playthrough, I kill everybody in Shady Sands. Every fucking playthrough. There's not been a playthrough I've done where Shady Sands live. I murder everybody in Shady Sands. One time because he had a hunting rifle and I wanted it. Another time because somebody fucking said some shit to me I didn't like. I mean, take your pick. But mainly it's to get his shit. But whatever.
For example, here's a good part
Shady Sands
about that. Yeah. I went and saw these. I ran into these bandits, right? And they had kidnapped one of the women from Shady Sands. And when I got to that same place beforehand, and she hadn't been kidnapped yet, or my knowledge of her being kidnapped, I was like, you know what? Let's try to join these. These were the Great Khans.
Yeah.
So I was like, let me try to join them, and he was like, all right, okay, you're gonna have to kill these bitches. I'm done with them. And in a turn-based style game, it was a little difficult because I wasn't high enough level to kill them before they got away, and then everybody fought me. But you know, in that situation, it was like, wow. Can you imagine like playing like Fallout 4 and you're like having the option to join bandits? You never had that option as a faction.
That's why everybody says, you know, Fallout doesn't have the same premise it used to, but you know, things change.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, and also they don't make you have to, then you don't have choices like a dude saying like, if you want to join us, shoot these two bitches in the face.
That's the greatness of Fallout universe that I do miss that. I do miss that because it was a very gritty universe. So, unlike this, you know, I wouldn't say Sunshine and Rainbows of 4, but it was definitely, you know, good guy.
You can go about it very different ways.
Good guy-ish.
Not just like A and B is kill bad guys or try to make them happy, but you don't really do anything that's too crazy, and that's about it.
You were always portrayed as a very good-hearted protagonist. You couldn't like change it up if you wanted to do and play a villain if you wanted to, like the old ones if you wanted to. So, matter of fact, and this is kind of a dark thing, but there was back in the versions I played, actually, I think they nerfed or modified them. There was a reputation marking you could get. Say if like you entered turn-based combat and you killed a child, you would actually have the child killer stigma on your reputation log. and it would actually affect how people converse with you. So now I think they took
you
that
can't kill
out.
Kids in the new one.
No,
you can't.
They took that out when they pushed it on Steam, I think, but it used to be in the older version of the game. I do remember that. So just they modified that shit. I do remember that. So, which is fine with me actually, but just the absolute freedom you used to have if you wanted to play some dark maniacal little fucker, I guess, and go from there. But
you can't really be bad in the new Fallouts. You can't.
No.
You can't be a bad person.
No.
You could be kind of a shitty person, but you can't be like a bad person.
Bad person.
So. Oh, there I died. Yeah. Got killed by a bunch of like those are just little mantises that I ran into. You guys remember those in New Vegas where you just run up and like 2-tap them, maybe 1-tap them? Yeah, those things kicked my ass.
Yeah.
So, yeah. Completely different kind, and it's cool to see how that changes. And fucking ghouls can talk to you and use weapons?
Yeah. Yeah,
like
they're
they're
all
still
feral.
feral, but they kind of talk?
Yeah.
I think the situation was I ran into a metropolis, and I'm thinking what really happened is there were feral ones that were feral, and there were just ghouls, and I just started indiscriminately killing them all. And then some of them were good, and they were like, "What the fuck? You killed Jimmy or whatever," and they got pissed at me.
Yeah.
And I was like, "Oh shit, man! I just thought you were all bad."
Fucking interplay,
My bad.
man. You know?
And the gore in this, God,
yeah,
better than the new one.
Blowing chunks off. That's what I told you, man. That was
Yeah.
those things too. Like especially you put like a submachine gun on burst fire, you just see the fucking shit just fly off. I was like, ah, I missed this. Yep. Yep.
Oh my God. It was great. It's great. I'm looking forward to playing more of it.
It was a much darker time back in those days.
Yeah.
For all
the way
the
it should be, in my opinion.
Way it should be.
I mean, I love Fallout. I love it, but I would love it even more in the new ones if I could have joined like bandits.
Yeah. New Vegas, Nade.
That story. Well, okay, I guess technically in Fallout 4, you can, in the DLC for Nuka World, you do play with the bandits.
Blah 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 blah. I haven't gotten there.
But, all right, we won't go more into that. But yeah, it's not the same. It's not the same. It's not. No. Well, there you go. It's a game I need to get to at some point, and the first one. Mm-hmm. All right. So Fallout 1. Infliction.
Oh, Infliction. Caustic Reality. I think it might be a one-man dev team. Not sure. So I was tracking it on Twitter and stuff like that. Reached out to Caustic Reality. Talked to Caustic Reality. They said send an email to the marketing team and they'll hook you up. So I sent an email. I think Lauren from the marketing team. Now that I can actually talk about it, it's not embargo. Since obviously it released. This is footage from my YouTube channel, actually.
Cobra 493.
Yep. So I recorded this early in advance, and I set it to release upon the due date. So they hooked me up with a press key, and to add a little bit more sprinkling to this, they also hooked me up with keys for a giveaway. So, and I'm thinking, I mean, I'm kind of, I don't know if I want to drop this now during this time or what, but I don't know if we want to do it during TG, probably not. But yes, it's, you know how I am with horror games, guys. Like, I was gonna judge this very harshly. From the time I played it, it's definitely enthralled me. I enjoyed Infliction quite a bit for what I've played of it, and the fact that they believed in it so much to allow me to have a press key copy and play it and stuff like that. It's very enthralling for a horror game, and I definitely think you should check it out. But Caustic Reality definitely did good work on it. I don't feel like there's any kind of crazy puzzle mechanics or whatnot on it that are like gonna fucking drive me fucking insane, like most other horror games that pretend to be horror games are. So plus there's a lot of, oh my god, no, I didn't want to mention that. Just mentioning that game gives me agony. But the attention to fucking detail in this game, like picking it up and reading the label and reading the nutritional facts and scrolling through fucking images and stuff like that, like insane attention to detail in this game. awesome, just awesome shit. Like looking through all these, just picking these items up, looking for red kidney beans and seeing the nutritional value I mentioned. And just all around, just the attention to detail in this sucked me in. Like horror games have to be immersive, right? If it's not immersive, the element of fear goes away, because then you're, oh, I'm just playing a game. So it's not, it can't hurt me.
Yeah.
So he definitely knew that when he designed this. Whatever, I mean, I think it's a one man team. I'm not sure, but if you're immersing me to that level, then
this is interesting.
You win. So
you got a little help thing that's not like beat you over the head.
Yep.
Just kind of like, hey, by the way, things that flash are shit you should probably look at. That like, which I guess would bridge the gap of like video game to person, is like you would probably think that this is something you should look at, which is an interesting way that any dev does things in games.
I mean, you have to have that certain element, but at the same time, it's not game breaking to where I got sucked out of it. So it just made me want to learn more. And it's kind of like Visage, which was the great thing about Visage is you don't know what's going on. The story kind of unfolds as you play the game. So it's not like you have a backstory. You have to, through your investigative work, you'll figure out what's going on in the game.
Like anything could help you, kind of?
Yeah. So, I mean, it might be parts you missed, stuff like that.
Like they have a dog. Okay.
Yeah. So, you know, look out here, there's dog food and shit. So, just I like that narrative. It's not like I don't know. I haven't encountered anything where I felt like all this puzzle fuck, you know, where I've got to arrange things a certain way to open the door or whatever. I'm just like this. I'm just beating my fucking head against the wall because I hate that. So, but I mean, it's more of a you put together the pieces of the story and enjoy the ride as it. So, and that's fucking cool. That's cool. He definitely has a very narrative here. So
I thought it was 1999. Now you got VHSs.
Yeah, dude. That's also like, I mean, they tugged at my fucking strings there too, because I'm like, oh, VHS tapes and stuff like that, and you know, they had a tabletop book on there and like all this other stuff. It was awesome. It's awesome. I was just like, you guys don't even know. Like they had X-Files season 1 where they recorded it from the TV and they, you know, from their VCR. You know, it was fucking like that shit. You used to do that shit all the time. So, you know, I wanted to watch like my TV shows. I would hit the record button when it came on and recorded my VHS. So it was awesome. Plus, you know, when you have a CD player and play the right track because we kept skipping or misread the CD that was in there too. I mean, just the attention to detail is awesome. So, and I think it's $20 on Steam right now. So.
Oh, okay, $20, not too bad. Yeah.
But, I mean, it's a good time. Good fucking time. Good fucking time.
Makes me want to play it because I'm getting engrossed and just watching you. Ooh, titties.
Yeah, come on, man. Typical 90s VHS
she has
horror.
Fangs where you least expect it.
Yeah,
oh
yeah. See, come on, man. Typical 90s shit. Awesome. Awesome.
Looks at it again. Ooh.
Yeah, I was making a comment on that shit too. So.
There you go. Welcome to the family. All right, good. I got you. Well, family. Well, good. Yeah, you guys should check that out. I'm probably gonna watch more of this. Looks like we're getting to some more porn videos here. I mean, you had to buy porn. You know, internet wasn't what it was, so you had to go buy it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Can't pleasure.
Well, World War III.
Oh man.
Did you stream it?
I didn't buy it. I watched enough streams to know I'm not gonna buy it.
Okay. Is Dirk still in there? Do you mind if I pull up your footage, Dirk? We'll wait until he says that's cool. I'm not just gonna pull it up. But so Echo 5 Romeo he's been talking to the devs a lot, and he was streaming it before and on early access release day, and he was having, and everyone I heard from was having the toughest fucking time actually even getting able to play it.
Right now, the issue they're having is no one can get into a game because the servers are fucked. Plus, there's major GPU spikage. So basically, the running joke here is that you basically pay $28 for a loading screen because that's all anybody's ever getting is a loading screen. So I think there's like maybe 1% of the population can actually play it right now. So there's a lot of anger projected. Sad to see because I want, you got to ride that thin line, as content creators ourselves. You obviously want devs to succeed and make a badass game, but you don't want to fucking sugarcoat everything either and be like, well, yeah, this fucking game's great. It's like, no, here's the fucking problems. This fucking sucks. This needs fixed.
Yeah.
So
they did put out I saw a tweet from them that was like, guys, we're sorry about this and this will never happen again.
Yep.
Like that you just can't play it, right? You can't.
And
we agree that we should not have this problem.
Transparency is very, very, very important. And especially, Ground Branch's release was rocky because they were supposed to release on a certain day and then they had to delay it because apparently they didn't have certain things up to spec. So they did not hit the go button and they fixed that. And once they fixed it, they delayed it, I think, by maybe 5-6 days, and then they hit the go button and then it was fine. So, unfortunately, this actually hit the go button and it was broke as fuck. So, I want to play WoW. I do, but I am not buying that game right now in its current state. I am not. Once I get confirmation that it's more just loading screen and maybe the only people can actually play the game. If it has optimization issues, fine. It's early access. I expect that. But if I pay $28, I better be able to get the game. So I ain't buying that game until I can actually play it. So when I see people actually getting into servers and playing it, I'll buy it. Yeah. But not until then.
Not like a Star Citizen.
I'm not gonna have another Star Citizen fiasco. Which no. And again, my opinion on Star Citizen. Obviously, I would have invested $90 into the goddamn game if I think there was potential here. But I don't want to fire it up because you and I'll get an hour into the game and get immersed into it and start doing a landing on a planet and guiding through, and then my game's gonna. I'm just gonna get really mad. So that's why I'm just like, let me know when the game stops crashing every 5 minutes, and then I'll fire it up.
Yeah.
So.
And why is that not a higher priority, Star Citizen? But anyway.
So.
Yeah. We were playing on the beta mode. No, it was even after.
It wasn't PTU. We weren't playing on PTU.
Yeah.
We were playing.
Even after PTU was put into full.
It was when
everybody had access.
3.0 first pushed out, was on PTU. We played it on PTU. We expected the crashing on PTU. Then they pushed it out to everybody else, and it was worse. It was worse. I was like, "Fuck, man!"
It was a great moment too, landing that giant ship.
Oh my god! I mean, it was like at least when it crashed, at least I was like, "Oh, I can just go back and grab this ship and test this ship out, It's like, no, it crashed, and now my fucking ship's way the fuck over here, and I have to call the insurance, and my insurance won't return my ship for another 20 minutes, and I'm gonna float around fucking Alistair or whatever, and fucking fuck around on that station for 20 minutes. I'm like, fuck. So that kind of pissed me off.
Well, a strat there that I saw for hardcore Star Citizen players was they would literally just reset their account if they lost a ship.
I'm not doing all that shit.
Yeah. At least make it in the game then, because they had to go like on the website, reset.
Not in this ADD generation.
So those of you that don't know what World War III is, it's pretty much like, I guess an easy way to explain it is it's like where Battlefield should be going instead of where it is going.
I don't really have a whole lot to comment on it, but from what I've seen, disclaimer, what I've seen, again, I'll say it again, what I've seen,
yeah,
very Battlefield-esque with customization, a little bit more, I don't want to say milsimi, but of course, you see shoving a fucking sappy plate in his fucking plate carrier. So I don't know if that's currently how it's going. I don't know if that's where it's going to go. Kind of like talking to Escape from Tarkov right now. Everybody likes to compare Escape from Tarkov to BR games. I'm just like, no. No.
Yeah.
It's going to be open world survival with, they already have hunger and thirst mechanics in it. You just currently have instance raids to go into. So I don't know. Right now I know it just looks very Battlefield-y, but I haven't played it. I can't tell you. I just based upon what footage I've seen. So, and I won't be able to tell you until I'm going to buy it. I'm not going to buy it until I can actually play it in a server. Woo, look, we got tipped.
Yeah, right.
Look at that. What's up, Panzer? Thank you.
Yeah. What I had seen is when you die, it shows where you've been hit, and like if you your sappy plate will actually stop, certain rounds a certain amount.
Yeah. I'm still hyped for it. But
yeah.
I'm not buying it until the server's done. Once people start getting past loading screens and actually playing the game, I'll be like, oh fuck yeah, I'll jump right on it. I'll make this as soon as I get confirmation. Legit confirmation that people are actually flowing into games. I don't care if there's optimization issues. I expect those. I don't care if there's, some server issues or whatnot. That's fine. As long as I can play, I'll buy it. But right now, I can't. People can't even play. So
yeah,
not even gonna get into it.
Again, guys, we have not played it ourselves. We have only seen, and our general rule and the way we operate is we will not have a hard opinion on a game until we have played it ourselves.
Yep.
Some games do not even deserve playing it to find out. We will be honest about that. But, yeah. So any game that we talk about in the future and certain design elements there, if we haven't played it yet, then that's not our final opinion.
Yep.
So
I like my word to have some substance and have some validity to it and mean something. So usually people will ask my opinion. If I tell you to wait or I say you're gonna have to hold off, it's because of that. Because you guys trust my word and you trust his word, so we take stock in that. So like that's why sometimes I'll tell you, give me a couple days or give me a week or give me this before I give you an opinion on something. So
you do have a lot of people come and be like, "What are your thoughts?" And like I literally just started.
Yeah, people have asked me that, like, what are the thoughts on this? I'm like, have 2 hours of game time. I can't give you a valid opinion. Assassin's Creed Odyssey was one of those. It's like I have under 10 hours into that. Like thus far, do I feel immersed? Yes. Am I having a good time? Yes. But I cannot give you an overall opinion of the game until like the feel good feeling starts to. Is it going to die or am I going to lose my immersion? At least give me 20, 30 hours into it before I give you something. You know what I mean? Like in 20, 30 hours, if I'm still feeling good about going around doing this stuff, probably a good game. So,
unless right off the bat it's fucking terrible, you'll know.
And that's the thing.
If you're watching and be like,
and I'll tell you where that spawned from. I'll tell you exactly why I'm very cautious about that. Divinity. So that's exactly why I'm like, look, give me 20, 30 hours in the game because Divinity, we're like, oh, this is fucking cool, it's fucking shit, fucking that. And then about 10 hours in the game, we were just like, what?
Yeah, I would have felt bad if off our first impression playing that somebody would have gone and bought it
and been like, these guys fucking, or they don't know what the fuck they're talking about, man. This thing died the fuck out. It's like, no.
Yeah, this thing sucks.
Now
then they come back in the stream and they see that, yeah, we do fucking hate it. So
yeah, like 74 hours into Divinity Original Sin. You can ask me my opinion on Divinity. I'll tell you, 74 hours in, I'll give you a no shit opinion.
So, yeah, we tried, man. For about 50 of those hours, we hated it.
Yeah.
But we kept trying.
It's like a roller coaster ride.
Let's give it a chance. Let's at least beat it. Let's do it.
Yeah.
Yeah. So we'll just know more in the future.
Yep.
About that specifically.
But still willing to give Divinity 2 a try.
Yeah, same here.
Just not for that price
Eventually,
tag.
when it's on sale, I'm down to pay $5 for it.
I'll actually pay 20. If it goes down to 20, I'll snatch it.
Okay, all right, that's fair. That's
20,
fair.
I'll snatch it. Not 30.
Thank you for that.
Not 35. 20. So, Nade obviously is a little bit more angry at it than I was.
Well, I'll admit that I get pretty fucking hung up on design elements that are there that are an insult to the player as far as their design. I don't really care for that. So that shit really gets to me. But Dirk says regarding World War III, from the 2 nights I played it, it felt like playing Battlefield 4 back in the day. Just solid, more real than COD gameplay. They still have a kill streak system. Okay.
You have a kill streak
system in World War III?
See, again.
Yeah, we haven't played it, so we don't know.
Don't know.
Yes, that'll be in the future. We'll be talking on it more once we have played it. And I want to play it, so I do.
Yeah, but I can definitely give you the news on it about what's going on with its EA release, and that's in case you didn't fucking know. That's what's going on with it. That's why if I think I look at Steam reviews for it right now, or I think 50%, it's mixed right now, which it's with it being 53%, it's dangerously close to dipping into negative. Oh shit. 40% of the 2,801 user reviews for this game are positive. Oh man, Farm. You guys gotta turn this shit around.
Yeah. This is a crucial moment.
Yeah. First impressions, man.
Yeah. Maybe they should have waited a little bit longer. Done some more beta testing.
I don't know.
Yeah. I'm sure there's issues that they did not see coming that they tried to prepare for. I'm sure there is.
I don't know, man. I don't know. I'm still wanting it to go, though.
And I still want to play it.
Yeah,
I
still want to fucking play it as long as I can actually play.
I just, you know, I don't want to waste my time on not playing it.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So, okay, all right. So you earn points rather than kills, and then you can do things. Okay. Interesting for a game like that to do something like that. I'm gonna reserve my opinion until I've played it because I've got some thoughts about that, but I don't know because I'm just gonna we'll just move on. I don't know.
Yeah.
I don't want to talk bad about certain things just because I was presented a small snippet of information and I haven't played it myself. So.
No, like people getting all in uproar about 6 and what.
Yeah. Well, you haven't fucking played it yet, or even seen actual finished gameplay. So shut the fuck up.
Yeah.
Yeah. All right. Well, we already talked about whatever about it. We'll just skip Star Citizen. It's whatever. We've already... Bleh. So, you played a little bit of Generation Zero.
Yes. I have the beta from the 18th to 22nd. What I will say concerning beta that I was playing into, of course, you're looking at the skill not, so of course the RPG system, but it's supposed to be a survival game based upon kind of like the 80s and 90s. Think Red Dawn, except it's not, fighting and invading occupancy of a foreign country. You're fighting against robots and shit. So it has a story element and everything else. And what I've seen, it looks like the beta is kind of tailored towards combat. And what I mean by that is every person I kill basically drops a fuck ton of ammo, or every robot I've slain. I've only seen like 2 enemy varieties thus far. I'm sure there's, but I mean, I did get immersed, but I didn't really get the feeling of the survival aspect per se. Like enemies will wreck your fucking face, but I kind of felt like it was go here, go to this safe house, kill it, go here, kill the safe house. I didn't really see any kind of like quest that basically said it was very, very different as far as element wise. It just kind of seemed like it was a lead you by the nose to just flow through these areas. Now, again, I think I've only got... How many hours do I have in this? How many hours in this? I've got 2 hours in it. So, if it starts to ramp up and deviate from that formula, then yeah, I'm very eager to next. But, definitely have an abundance of ammo, like you're not gonna, as far as the survival aspect and that, ammo is not scarce right now in this beta at all. Like you're gonna have plenty of ammunition, plenty. Like I think I've got 400 rounds for my little fucking Makarov little thing I had, and then like 240 rounds of 9mm submachine gun ammo. A subgun I don't have, so, and there's skills and everything else. So definitely no shortage of like ammunition. It's not like that kind of survival game or scarcity. I also didn't really see any kind of hunger or thirst mechanics, so it's almost loosely survival. I don't know if that's coming later or what the case is, But very combat oriented, seemed like. Very combat oriented. But I was just following these. You go here, we grab this clue, say go to this area to determine this stuff, figure out where these people went to this area, killed all those fucking robots there. Okay, well, these people aren't here. They went over here, so let's go here on the map. And, other than that, gorgeous environments and everything else. Definitely very lifelike. I'd also find cosmetic items and stuff to change my character up and stuff. Obviously, you can't really see a lot of that here because of side chatter, but like farmhouses and stuff like that. A lot of the interior of the environments, I will say this, kind of the same, but interesting game. Let's just put it that way. I'm interested.
The robots seem to look like they're kind of idiots.
The fast. So,
because that one was just running back and forth in front of you.
Yeah. So, I mean, definitely a good-looking game. I will say that. Definitely a good-looking game. After tweaking my settings, I held about a good 78 on high settings. I don't know as far as optimization, but I mean, it seemed to run fine.
It is a lot of ammo, jeez.
Yeah, I have a fuck ton of ammo, and you would just find more, But most of the enemies I encountered were these little fucking roving dog-like robots, and then of course those little. I later got access to these camera features or little camera watch bots. I don't know. I'm sure there's more. I'm gonna sneeze. There we go. I'm delayed, of course, so it probably happened earlier. But yeah, you can see the inventory system, the skill system, the logs. So it just kind of seemed like I was being led by the nose beta, but that's probably just to get you familiar with it and everything else. I don't know if it's going to open up later. The map's actually pretty sizable. So definitely am interested in firing it up again just to see what's there. I don't know if even the area I'm in is like a starting area, which is probably why there's not a lot of variety going on right now. Because normally in survival games, they drop you in it, and it's like, come what may, you might run into somebody who's going to wreck your fucking face, and you got to hide from it. But it kind of seems like this. If a survival game had a starting area, I think this is pretty much what this feels like. It's a starting area. Okay. So
easy enemies,
whereas like
stuff to give you.
Most survival games they'll plop you in there, and they might have a certain section, and then it's just like, hey, you could go encounter some walking behemoth and get your fucking face pushed in. And
you just started.
That's just the way. That's how survival games work. So pick and choose. So,
yeah. One thing that I'm like when we look at these early access games that I'm thinking of is like it brings up the problem of like, yeah, I could get into that game, but why should I play it now versus like a year from now when it'll be much more complete? So why should I play it now?
Well, I'm getting to the point now where I'm getting very picky in my game purchases, because if it's not going to be something I'm gonna dump hours into, I'm not really interested. Like, I know I'll dump hours into Scum no matter what. I know I'll dump hours into Ground Branch no matter what. I know I'll dump hours into Blackout and stuff like that, and Black Ops no matter fucking what. But it's a matter of like Arma 3. I'll play that game, and if I just had that game and it was and that's all I fucking played with what you can do with that engine and system and everything else, I would be perfectly content with that. No problem. And for a while there, that was all I fucking played. So I'm kind of looking for games to do that nowadays.
Okay. I mean, yeah, like this. Like this is a great example. This game, Ground Zero, of like I'm watching you, I'm hearing you, and like, oh, well, that sounds fun and cool, and it's a really cool idea to go kill these robots and stuff, but like,
what's the longevity of that?
Why don't I wait maybe a year?
Yeah.
And then I hear about like, hey man, I got a bunch of updates. Like, okay, I'll try it now.
It's not really true open world either, because like you only have 4-player co-op, so it's like, okay, are you going for like a Left 4 Dead feel, or what are you doing? So it's not open world in the sense where you can have like 32-player server and stuff. So it's hard for me to say that this is a survival game, but it might be. I don't know. It's a weird. It's more of a co-op game to me than it is survival. You know.
Like a way more in-depth Left 4 Dead, like you're saying.
Yeah, it seems like it's definitely leaning more towards co-op with survival elements. I want to say, I guess. So,
I guess that would push longevity if you play with friends and stuff, because that's what you make of it then. But I mean, I sometimes like having a game that I can get lost in for 1 billion hours on my own. So
yeah, I mean, yeah.
I just want to play with me, and I don't want to be penalized for not playing with people. Sometimes I just want to play with me.
Odyssey,
you know?
Odyssey, Witcher 3.
Yeah,
pick it. Fallout. Not 76.
Yeah. Although, I mean, they did say that it is going to have, you can play offline.
Yeah.
Solo if you want.
Well, I just, the
people
story.
Are freaking out about that.
The fact that there's actually story elements in 76, like haunted areas and stuff, from what I've seen from gameplay, is like, that's pretty fucking cool, actually. So, you know.
Oh, yeah. So not a whole lot yet about this.
Yeah.
That's gonna be the problem with whenever we talk about any early access.
I gotta see more. Right now, it's to me, if that's the formula they're going with, it's probably not gonna be honest assessment. It's not gonna be something that I'm probably gonna jump too hard into. I might look at that and go, okay, if this is the formula I'm gonna rock with. Probably not a game I'm gonna spend money on right out the gate, but I have to see a lot more. So 18th to the 22nd, I might bounce on it here or there, because of course I'm visiting with company and stuff like that. So it's not really gaming is not really a high priority for me right now. So, but going from there. So Generation Zero, everybody
looks over to the side.
But
that's a very, very good point. Both Ty there and Maniac. Picky is good. You're not really interested in giving a ton of feedback about very little, and big thing in an unfinished game may not be for you until it's close to finish. Exactly. And then you get into the then there's the conflict. If I don't support it, might be dead in a year. Well, that is on you. I'm sorry. So I have everybody that is a hardcore gamer, or especially content creators and stuff like that. We have tons of fucking games that we're trying to get to. Sorry to be a dick, but we've got a lot of games competing for our attention. So it's just gotten to the point where I have too many games. I'm sorry.
Well, that's kind of the thing of being like, it's you kind of have to be able to speak from that certain genre standpoint. Like where I see some people do it wrong with content creation is they're just like, well, this game fucking sucks. And it's like, because this, that, and the other. And it's like, they don't even know the genre of which they're speaking of. More like just because they personally don't like it. But
it's not what they
if you're playing a survival game, would a survival person, do you have enough knowledge, or do you understand the genre you're encapsulating? Would a survival person enjoy this? If it's marketing stuff as a survival game, would a person who enjoys survival games like that? If that's the case, then that's how you need to objectify that.
Yeah.
You're
yeah, I mean, I'll even admit when I play a game, if I don't like it off the bat, I'll stop and be like, all right, is it just because of how I'm playing it? How I'm approaching it? How does the game want me to do this? And then I get through, and then I figure out how the game wants me to do it, and then it's fine. It's like, all right, okay, so I can enjoy it. But if it's a matter of, what's a good example? Kingdom Come Deliverance. I thought for a while there that it was me and the way I played that was wrong. So I kept trying at a situation that was really fucking pissing me off in the game. And I was like, all right, how does the game want me to do this? But it turned out that the game was just janky as fuck, and that's what was pissing me off. Where the penalty was I had to go redo 30 minutes worth of content to get back to where I was trying out the thing every time. So I mean, I know they fixed that stuff later on and blah 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 blah. But when I do play Kingdom Come again because I couldn't return it, I'll get my $60.
Can't return Divinity back
we'll
either.
Talk more. Yeah. Yeah, we definitely went over that 2-hour period there. I put 6 into Kingdom Come and they said no, sorry. And I kept asking them like, dude, but I tried though. I tried to like it. I really fucking tried. I seriously did. And that's why I put in 6 hours instead of just 2 and then quit.
Yeah.
But yes, okay. So God of War.
All you, buddy.
I don't really want to show footage because it's all spoilers if you haven't played it yet.
I'm going to use this time to use a head call.
Okay.
All right.
I'm torn about showing footage of me playing it. Maybe I can find where I was just doing a bunch of side stuff. Cause yeah, like anything in that is super spoilery. Let's see here if we can find like a pretty early point in the game when I started playing it. There's God of War 3. God of War 3, and then we started God of War. Let's find like an early point where there's not really too much going on. But so God of War 3, or not God of War 3, God of War. I played all the other God of Wars before. Well, not all of them. There were some of them I didn't really care for because I wanted to follow the story continuously. Especially after I beat 3, I was going to go back and do the older one, or not the older ones, but the ones in between, the side ones. But the way the story ends in 3, I'm like, dude, I need to find out what happens in the new God of War. Like, how the fuck? How the fuck is it continued? And for those of you that haven't played the new God of War, I haven't beat it yet, but I don't know how far I am in it. I don't know. It's hard to say. Probably maybe a third to before a half. It's in between there, a third and a half. I'm definitely not at halfway, but because I've been doing a lot of side stuff. So for those of you that felt that God of War, like I was talking to somebody the other day about it, that God of War is like, well, it's kind of the older God of Wars were kind of like, a little too crass. I was like, well, I can understand that you would feel that way because it's all about slaughter and sex and tits and blah blah blah.
What's wrong with that?
That's just not how. I don't have a problem with that, But the new God of War is a much different setting where you're old Kratos, you have a kid, everybody knows because it's God of War boy. And there are the way that the devs designed this game has some things in it that I want to see in games from now on. It's got some great shit. So, for example, you knock an enemy off an edge, the loot pops up on you or on the edge, whatever they had. There's also, for some of the other design elements, for example, if you don't pick something up, it'll be at the vendor. The vendor will pick it up for you.
Quality life improvements.
Reclaim it there. Yeah. There's a lot of those in this game. There's a lot of things. And like in certain scenes where like they slow the pacing of your movement so that a certain thing pops up in a certain order with the dialogue and the conversation and stuff like that. I've been playing on the hardest difficulty, so it's been forcing me to really get into all the game's mechanics, which I appreciate, all the different moves and stuff, and that feeling there, going from the beginning where I was getting my ass kicked 24/7 to I'm at the point now where I feel like it's just me and my skill getting me through everything, and not like I'm just getting fucked here, so I just have to find a cheap way to get through it.
Mm-hmm.
But it's fun to find out like what I need to use everywhere, and that's rare for me. Most of the time when I play a video game, I find what works for me, and then I just go through the entire game doing that, and I ignore all the other mechanics in the game because I don't fucking care because this works. Like, why should I, right? Like, if this works, why should I try out other shit? So, but this game has made me like, oh man, I'm getting my ass kicked on this fight. What else do I have that I can do here? And like going through my inventory and stuff, and what would work here. So, but I will say on this difficulty at the beginning, I was getting my ass kicked. I was on this fight particularly for quite a while, and these are just base ads that are at level 1, and I was like, that's all I did with a heavy swing into his fucking head. And I was like, wait a minute, did I just freeze him? What? I didn't know that was a thing. And then I tripped him. The way you can move ads around and stuff is pretty fucking awesome. Or you can shape the battlefield because of how you push enemies around and stuff like that. But yeah, it's there's so many spoilers that I can't talk about because it's a game that I do not want to spoil.
Well, I can't play it. You can tell me.
So, if you don't want spoilers, get the fuck out. Or mute, or whatever, while we talk about this.
So, time out, time in? I don't know. How you want to do that?
Yeah, we'll do a this when I'm done talking about God of War. You know, or whatever, like back in, whatever. And then you'll see the footage change or whatever. So in this God of War, you play Dad. But he is also a fucking warrior Spartan that killed all the fucking Greek gods. So it's an interesting, like, he does not have feels. He does not give two shits about it, like, feelings. But you start to see it develop for his son once his son starts showing that he is a capable individual. And you as a player even start to feel a connection building with the kid, with Kratos. As Kratos, you can see him become more warm with him, like actually bothering to have a conversation with him versus like shut up all the time. Like, he just tells him to shut up in the beginning. But it's like the kid gets stronger, the kid gets better on not just like the devs designed it so it's not just you upgrading the kid's abilities, but it's also a matter of like he starts getting stuff and being more aggressive with it. That makes you appreciate him more later on in the game. Like, fight starts, hard enemy pops up. He fucking trips the dude for me. He's like, tripped him! You know, I got him down. And I'm like, fuck yeah, kid. Fuck him up. Yeah. Goddamn right. And the puzzles, man. Oh my god, the puzzles in this game. There's so many, but they're fun puzzles. They're not like stupid, like, how the fuck do I figure this out? It's like each one is a little, like, yeah, fun. You get a little... Yeah, you get a little victory, like, fuck yeah, I got through that. I figured that out.
What's a fun puzzle?
For example, okay, so for example, there was a ruin that was in an old Viking ruin, and I was trying to like how the fuck do I get up to this chest? So I had to figure out like, okay, so I could just to get to the next area, I throw my axe at this spinny paddle on a wall, so that I lower the floor. So that I can just get through. But then I want to get the chest that's up here, so I have to figure out like what level I have to get it at and like figuring that out without killing myself. So it's stuff like that. We're like, yeah, I got the loot, fuck yeah. Awesome sauce and all that.
Okay. All right. I can go with that.
Yeah, it's good puzzles. It's good puzzles. Okay. Really like more like I haven't played the Uncharted games, but kind of like that. I've seen them, or like Tomb Raider, where like you're trying to get from point A to point B, so you got to figure out a little mechanic there, like how you unlock getting to the next place or getting through that area using shit and stuff. So
shit and stuff,
yeah. Oh. So awesome! Another awesome little design element in God of War is you eventually find Mimir, who is the all-knowing. He knows everything, but Odin was fucking pissed at him, so he put him in a tree, and none of the gods were allowed to kill him, and he could not die. So he was just stuck in a tree, but he knows everything. So just because he's Odin's kind of a dick, and also Thor's kind of a dick, and that's the kind of feeling you get is like because they're gods and they fucking kill everybody and they don't care, you know. Like, so the general consensus is they're dicks. So Mimir's like, hey, I can help you, and I'm bored as fuck here. Why don't you cut off my head and try to find a way to bring it back to life? And you do. So you just carry a fucking head around on your butt that like you just put them on your belt, and you just got this head that just talks about lore and shit as you're going around the world because he knows everything. And he another fun little design element that they added there was when you're fighting, if somebody's coming up behind you, since he's on your butt, he'll call out, hey, behind you.
Nice.
Which is pretty funny. But there's a lot of little things like that in this game with the characters and stuff that it is, when you hear it, you'll be like, it's pretty good. If this doesn't get Game of the Year, I'm going to be very surprised. Because
Game of the Year contender,
everybody was raving about it. Yeah. When it came out, everybody was raving about it. I've been playing it. I'm like, I just keep finding more and more things in the design of it that I'm like, that's fucking sick. That's awesome. Like the whole world you're in, it's a semi-open world, and when you progress the game, it's the world serpent rising. You know, it holds the ocean in.
Yugimon?
The world serpent's thing. Yeah.
No, hey.
So
coinciding with Adventures from Midgard.
You know,
Yeah, like it.
So this one is in Viking lore and stuff and things, and you get to fight gods and stuff like that. So Yogamon, as you progress the game, there's certain interactions that you have with Yogamon that so he raises himself more out of the water, which displacement makes the water go down, which unlocks more of the world. So I think that's a cool,
interesting mechanic then.
Yeah, it's a cool, like, it's not too open world to the point where like you don't know where the fuck you're going or doing, but it's becoming bigger as you progress.
I'm sensing the incoming text message in my Dave. Can we use business funds to get a PS4 so I can play fucking God of War 4 now?
Dude, I'm surprised he hasn't played it yet, dude. You fight Baldur. You fucking, oh my god, dude. Like, there's lore everywhere. Like, you find all this lore shit. Like the stories told of what Thor's done. And I mean, there's even a part that I did the last time I streamed was Thamur was his name. He was the stonemason giant. And how Thor fucking killed him. And Thamur fell over on a village or whatever. But so you got to go get the chisel that Thamur had for a piece of it so you can do some stuff with it. But like there's a giant fucking dead giant that you're like climbing on and doing stuff with, and it's just fucking cool, man.
Yeah.
So
I'm not opposed to that if we can find some like cheap PS4 that we could acquire somehow.
Yeah, you could probably get a used one.
Yeah,
to play it. But it's great. It's great, Dave. I think you'd really enjoy it. You probably notice some things that aren't canon or whatever. So that aren't, well, not canon necessarily, but that, like little stretches. So it'd be interesting to see if you played it,
dude. He loved it.
Yeah, that's good. Hell yeah.
So.
It's sick. It's fucking awesome, and how that plays out and everything, and what they did there with the world tree. And I went to what's the fire realm?
Heim, something Heim.
Mispelheim, okay. I think is Mispelheim is the fire realm, and then hearing that head again talk about, because the kid asks like, so what about Suitor? Mm-hmm. So starts telling about Suitor and what Suitor's doing, and like he will bring about Ragnarok, and he patiently waits, honing his blade and all this stuff, and it's one of my favorite mythology world things. So it's awesome to go through it in this manner as fucking Kratos, who was also a god, wrecking everything. So pretty sick. Pretty good dynamic between them and all this. All right. I highly recommend it. And it's probably my game of the year. And we'll leave it at that.
RPG mechanics, but more action mechanics is Nade's game of the year. Interesting.
Yeah, right?
Interesting.
Yeah. I mean, it's got a lot of RPG mechanics in it, but not like choice-making conversation stuff. It's more of your level is based off of your gear, not you. You do get more abilities and stuff that you can do that you spend XP on. You can also level up some of your abilities and enchanted augments that you find that you put in your gear, but your level is completely based off of like leveling up your axe, getting better gear. So that's what makes you do more damage and be able to, actually take more damage is what you're wearing, not like you just magically get stronger as you level up.
Yeah. So
it's an interesting take on that too. Very interesting. There's also a mechanic in this difficulty that I'm playing, which is the hardest one again, where these guys just did it, where any enemy, if you let them sit there long enough after they've been damaged, will level up themselves.
Oh.
So they'll get harder.
That's
kind of very fucking aggressive.
That's kind of fucking cool.
Yeah. So like you can stop them from doing it though. So they'll start going or whatever, and you can throw your axe at them or stop them before they go up a level and then get more health. So it makes the fight flow in a different way. Like, fuck, that guy's about to level up and he's going to be like past where he's going to start one-shotting me. So I need to stop him or whatever. I mean, but the story in this, oh my God, dude. I mean, you kill a fucking dragon.
Well, it takes care of that ground branch discussion.
Yeah. Oh, what's going on? What? Where?
Oh, when we flow into that topic, I'll have that the discussion.
Thank you, Airborne. Thank you, man. I mean, I could go on and on and on. I haven't even beat it yet, so I'll probably save the rest to when I beat it, and we can talk more about it. But I do plan on also making a review on this because this game needs some praise from some of the design elements that some people may not have noticed about it. So I would like to touch on those when I do that. But yes, okay, so we're done talking about God of War. And we're moving on to what Destiny 2 has been doing.
Oh, it's all you again.
Yep. So, Destiny 2 this week started. I don't think I did any on stream. Let's see if I can find it. So this is the Festival of the Lost is going on right now in Destiny. And the Festival of the Lost is like their Halloween thing, but like the way in Destiny lore. No, this is the dungeon that I was doing, not that. We'll get to that later. So here's the Festival of the Lost. So it's basically where they take time to remember everybody that has died, all the good people that have died. So like in the center of the tower, there's this giant tree with candles lit and like rotating holographs of everybody's faces that they've lost and stuff. And the way that they're implementing that into gameplay is there's like spooky music, and then the do you remember doing the Curse of Osiris DLC where you went into the Infinite Forest?
Yes.
So they took the Infinite Forest, which is more like the Finite Forest, because it was actually really boring and it was the same thing over and over again.
Yeah.
And they made it all dark and they made it spooky.
I'm seeing that.
And so what you have to do is you've got these branches you have to go through. So you want to get to 100% of killing enemies. So it's not just like, you know, how usually people, whenever you have to do anything where you go into the Infinite Forest, will just try to speed run through it. So here it's more about killing stuff. So once you get to 100%, you get teleported into a room with a boss. You try to kill the boss, and you start with 15 minutes overall. And you try to see how many branches you can get through. Yeah, kill boss. So you try to see how many branches you can get through, which is what equates to what loot you get. So it's an interesting different pacing for Destiny because you're trying to be fast and efficient versus I'm just going to meander around and do whatever the fuck for a while. But my main problem with when they dropped this now is because it's also the highest corruption week where I was talking before about the corruption of the endgame area rotates every 3 weeks. So this is at the highest corruption, and there's only certain things you can do during the highest corruption, which is the dungeon that's going on right now, which is what I was doing earlier in the stream, not here. No, this was the other day's stream. My bad. No, all I did is PvP that day.
Yes.
And some Gambit.
Oh, I have kept up with none of the statements that I was potentially do, which was play more Destiny 2 fucking Crucible. Yeah. What can I say? I like playing other games. Come on. But
that's fine.
You know.
That's fine, man. It's all good. They still need to fix it anyway. I think you'd be kind of pissed off with it. I
probably would be.
So, yeah. Because they still got the problem of the Warlock Nova Warp is fucking almost indestructible. And it literally, you just go into like this super mode where you glide around, you just click your mouse and you charge up an explosion. And then you just let it go and it makes this huge AoE that one-shots anybody.
Gotta have balance, or you're gonna have to create a league where certain things are disabled. You're gonna have anything that's gonna be competitive. Just saying.
Oh, I agree. And if they don't, I feel like it's kind of ridiculous that they haven't fixed it yet. But whatever, I guess. Like, okay, so yeah, so there's the super problems where supers, like, you pretty much become indestructible when you pop them. They're very unbalanced. The shotgun meta is rampant right now, where
it hasn't changed, huh?
Yeah, it's so fucking old. And I said fuck it, and I started doing it too. And it is the easiest way to kill anybody, man. Every life that you get, you spawn with 2 ammo. You kill somebody, you get their shots. And you just like, it just feeds itself at how easy it is to kill people with shotguns. You literally just run around with your weapon at the hip, and you just click your mouse when you see somebody close enough. So you just run around corners and just pop, pop, pop. That's a kill. That's a kill. You know, like there's no skill. And then also there's the problem on top of that where like, well, maybe I can just outplay them with a shotgun, you know, like I'll outsmart them. Well, there's also most of the time where when you pop somebody with a shotgun, it won't count most of your shots, but it will for them because it's peer to peer. It's bullshit. So
no, it's not an improper statement either. But you could create a mode where, and that's where we discussed it earlier, where mode for loadouts. But again, that's just a matter of if Destiny wants to go that route. I mean,
I would hope so. It could be so much more if they did go that route. We're like, all right, fine, just take them out and create like set loadouts for competitive, so we can make it competitive, or hop on this shit a little bit harder to make it balanced, so that I'd like, because you ride a fine line between making certain people happy with like, oh, well, I could just go run around with my shotgun and I'm not normally good at PvP and I can be good now, or I can just use Nova Warp, and making other people just not want to fucking play the game anymore because they're not fixing the problems, so you can't enjoy stuff. So.
Big head.
Right, yeah, I was there for that last night. That was shit like that, where it's like you went back and looked at the clip and it was like center mass. You're probably roughly what, about 10 feet away?
Yep.
Yeah. Pop, nothing. Dude shoots you, kills you. Like bullshit. And that happens a lot in Destiny. Happens a fuck ton in Destiny, where you're just like, I wrecked that guy, but he's fine.
I don't know.
Okay.
Almost forgot about that clip. Maybe because I didn't want to remember.
Yeah.
That's where I started tracking the latency to the server from then on out.
It sucks.
Yeah.
It sucks, man. But I mean, that's pretty much going to be a part of gaming until we're at the point where everybody has fiber, or whatever's past fiber, you know.
Yeah, well, I mean, let's be real for what Destiny 2 actually is. There's no mistaking that Destiny 2 is loot RPG shooter, right?
Yeah.
So I mean, it doesn't need to do that. If it doesn't want to do that, it doesn't have to. That's not what Destiny 2 is. It's not. Destiny 2 is not designed to be a competitive arena. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's not designed for that.
I mean, yeah.
I mean, I'm not stupid.
Empowerment.
I'm not stupid enough to say that Destiny 2 needs to have this. It's like, no, it doesn't. No, it doesn't. No, it doesn't. But if Destiny 2 would like to do that, I would appreciate that.
Yeah.
So, you know, I can get blasted.
Or at least if it was just a side avenue of that, right? Like the locked loadouts, no supers, as a side thing that for people that want to get into that. May not be the whole community, but it's a survival game. Goddamn right it is.
Now he's trolling.
Goddamn right. Yep. And you know the only way that you can get food so that your character doesn't starve is from the Eververse, which is a microtransaction. So, yeah. Yep. Pretty much. But I mean, you're not wrong. It is a looter shooter. So it's like what I'm doing right now is an end game dungeon that's only available on the 3rd week of the corruption. It's pretty much like a raid, but just 3 people, and it's currently the hardest thing in the game. So you go through multiple checkpoints with mechanics, like you have to go kill, one part is the ogre fight where you have to go kill wizards so that you can get these charges that have a timer on them that if you don't get enough of them, you die, and it resets the timer when you get another one, and then you have to get 4, or at least 1 player to 4, so that you can slam the charge that you built up on a circle so that you can do damage to the boss and you can move forward. And the drops are definitely worth it because it's powered. They can go up to 600, which is the max. It feels good to beat this shit. Feels great. I have completed the new raid. I did complete that, and there were some parts that felt really good to finish, but I don't know, sometimes video games, man. Sometimes video games, you do the cheese way and you just don't get that satisfaction out of it. But I still recommend this game. It's got a lot of problems. But this is one of the few games that I can just keep playing over and over again because it has that. Destiny 2 has that where it is a new style of MMO where my fun and my skill and capability is not dependent on following a fucking script that somebody made.
Light.
Yeah, light MMO. It's a new branch. It's not like any other MMO. This is its own thing. This is a first person shooter direction for it. So I mean, you're not going to get the complexity of like WoW or something, but it's kind of created its own little realm there as far as how that works. But yeah, this is a game where you can do that. That's why I like it. Where it's not just like, well, you have to get the most OP gun and the OP gear, and here's the set that you need, and this is how you do your cooldowns and blah 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 for this encounter, and that's about it. That's the only way you do it. Like, well, yeah, I could learn that, but if you can't do it, it doesn't fucking matter. So if you don't live, you can't just say stand here and do this, because you have to have that ability to flow with how the game flows, or where the enemies are, or what's going on, or your health, or your management of your abilities, and so on. So yeah, that's why I like it. That's why I love it. It's great. So touching back on the other what's going on with this week? It's a big week for Destiny 2. There's the Iron Banner going on this week. There's also the Festival of the Lost, where you can get a 600 gun if you grind enough of it, which is the highest power. And then that also means that this is the highest chance week to get Butthole, which is the Malfeasance quest. So they took too many things from an outside perspective. Somebody as you, Justin, that hasn't been playing as much, is they put too many things to do in 1 week's time, in my opinion, especially because not everybody can play all day every day. And that kind of makes it like, dude, I'm just not gonna be able to get enough done this week. So, and I'm gonna miss stuff, which I don't agree with in any game. Exactly, Trombones. Wait, are you trying to say that the time of games released after being heavily beta tested with love and care are over? Well, I mean, but you can test it. And you can pay for it, and then you can test it. Some goods and bads about that. They can get the game out faster. And then, well, another thing with that, though, I will say about any game with early access or
what I dare to say, here's a question, if anybody can remember. When Diablo 2 hit, were the BattleNet servers broken, or were they having connection issues?
I didn't play Diablo 2 when it came out.
Anybody who actually has? I'm trying to remember, because I'm almost gonna play devil's advocate on this. There's
always going to be unexpected problems.
I almost want to say, that I think it's just more publicized now. Now, granted, there's a distinct difference between having hiccups and having unplayability.
Yeah.
You know, I don't think I can ever think of a Halo Master Chief Collection. My God. An hour and a half in queue times to find a multiplayer match when that first hit. Launch day. Wow. Fucking wow. How many beers has Justin had so far? 1. This one.
No, he's coming down with something, guys.
Oh yeah, and this is actually
moving a little.
I'm in pain, so this is alleviating the pain. But
he's been doing too much cardio.
There has been a lot of that. Okay, so like 2 more, no blackout tonight. I mean, look, look, playing games is not my foundation right now. I'm gonna be like after TG's over. We're not gonna get into that. I'll have that discussion privately. Moving on. What were we covering? Destiny 2 changes.
Well, it was the basic subject of we were talking
Gaming.
about how it's not finished and tested already anymore.
I do think they pushed them out too quick. I think there's too much emphasis on nowadays for gaming where I think they can do a day one patch. I don't know, man.
Well, gaming has reached a point in a business sense where there is so many other factors.
There's a lot of variables
as far as the
now.
business side that get in the way of making a perfect game and then putting it out when it's perfect. You can't do that anymore because like the time, like the exact moment that it's going to be released is very important. The deals they've made for ads for it, the agreements that they've had with producers, manufacturers of the disc and other shit, whatever the fuck, shipping it with Steam, getting it out, whatever else, all these deals that they've made and all these, planning, fucking paying your employees and revenue and, bills and shit. Like it's so much shit going on that I guess quality and finished product start to get pushed a little bit farther away.
Well, I think it's mostly the issue with as long as if you're doing a single player title, you can be a lot more harsh on them because it's a single player title, right?
Yeah.
A multiplayer title, you should always expect. You should always expect issues on a multiplayer title. I mean, that's a given because you're factoring in so many different variables, player titles, that to not expect issues is ludicrous. Because there's all kinds of different facilitating factors in that. Otherwise, you wouldn't need an IT department for your business. You know what I mean? That's why IT is still needed quite a bit because there's always issues that happen when we're talking about network connectivity. So, you should
even
always,
on top of that, there's factors you can't control, like
right.
Somebody having shitty internet.
Right. So, single player, absolutely, you can be harsh as fuck. Like, why was this not fixed in a controlled environment where it's not even across a network? But
yeah,
when you have a multiplayer title, I always expect issues day one. Always. Like, there's always going to be issues on launch. Guaranteed. Network traffic and all this other issues and stuff like that. Maybe it's just because I work in IT or whatever, but I know there's going to be.
Yeah. But I mean, with the single player story game, for example, Deus Ex Mankind Divided, when that dropped, I couldn't play it for 4 hours.
And see, that's where I can't really, I've done programming, I've done 3D modeling like that. So when there's also other glaring issues, it's not like I'm over here saying, well, fix that. I kind of know what goes involved in fixing that as well. So it's not just, the IT component or the network component or the infrastructure component. It's also the animation component and the 3D modeling component and the rigging and keyframe versus mocap and all this other stuff like that. So it's like I kind of know what involves into fixing that as well, and the programming aspect as well. Your if then else statements for scripting and whatnot. So it's no fix is ever an easy fix unless it's literally deleting a line of code, maybe adding a asterisk.
Find that line of code first.
Adding an asterisk or a bracket, or maybe forgot to add an asterisk bracket, or maybe removing one. So,
I mean, there's billions of yes and no's running, right? And like if this then that's like you're talking about.
That's all.
And I would imagine most of the problems are because like when this one's active, it fucks with this one.
Well, that's all really if then else statements, especially in object oriented programming. If then else statements are your butter for everything. It's conditional. If these certain conditions are met, this executes. Otherwise, check for this condition. If this condition is met, execute this, or if not, execute this, or execute this. And if all those are incorrect, then execute this. So that's kind of how your if then else statements work, at least with object oriented programming. So it's just lines and lines and lines and lines of script, and if none of those are correct, then here's your default variable. You know what I mean? So it's checking for conditions. So that's how your general scripting works. At least for like object-oriented programming for like C++, or if you guys have ever fucked around with like Neverwinter Nights, the Aurora engine, a lot of C# or C++ in that. So, it's just it's generally how it works with game programming and stuff like that. I would say I haven't fucked around with that stuff in years, but
it's not really the problems we get much anymore.
A lot of the complaints with multiplayer stuff is network connectivity.
Yep.
And the packets of information being sent and at the speed at which they're being sent and whatever. Now that's where it's like, whoa, we about that blackout occurred. Like, obviously that motherfucker was center mass. Why didn't it register the hit? Was it network traffic, or was it coding? Hit registration didn't register because of certain variables that were in place that didn't register a hit. Like, you don't know. So, it's just multiplayer games are a monstrosity.
Yeah.
So
a lot more to it.
Yeah. Whereas single player games, it's like it's a lot more controlled environment where you can fix. So that's why you keep a team of staff to keep pushing updates and modifying and all this stuff like that. Keep on the payroll.
Kind of touching on the lag thing. So last week I went and visited my family, and I hung out with my brother, my older brother, and he was playing Call of Duty World War II on PC. Now, his internet is fucking shit. All right? So, computer's fine, but his internet is shit. So I tried playing, and it was just blipping all over the place. Frame rate was dropping like crazy just because of his internet. It's just, it's like, well, fuck. There's nothing he's doing wrong necessarily. Like, even if he plays with somebody just down the street from him, it's going to do the same thing. Because it was just, he was getting like a download of like 1.7. Yeah, it was like, and that's just like, God damn, man, that's bad.
Yeah.
That's bad. But so when you play with people like that, it's just kind of like, oh, did we get another tip there?
Oh, wow. Hey, Maniac. Woo!
Let me pull up the thing about what it says. Well, thank you. Thank you very much.
We're not going to have that discussion, Nade. Just take all the tips and shut up.
I was actually, you knew what I was thinking.
Yeah, shut up.
Come on. Move the leave call thing. Well, thank you, man. Maybe we'll put all that towards Divinity 2.
Oh my god. Okay, if you do that, that's a good trade-off. Okay?
Yeah.
Fine.
Yeah.
If you want to separate that to do
or
that.
games for TG, we can do that.
Okay, fine.
All right.
That's on you to do that. So.
All right. Well, thank you. I don't know if we need to take a break before we get to questions, and people can start typing in questions that we can get to on break. That might be a better way to do that.
Take 5 minutes.
Yeah.
Go tinkle.
Yeah.
I'm going to go get water, not another beer.
Guys, we'll be back momentarily. We're gonna put on some tunes for you. I'll try to make it fast. I shouldn't be longer than 5 minutes. What do we want to listen to?
Energetic.
All right, we'll be back soon, guys.
He never tells me when he's transitioning. He just says, "Welcome back, guys."
Well, I gave you the thumbs up.
Yeah, but you were so delayed in hitting the transition button, so I never actually know.
Well, I have to unmute you. I have to unmute me. I have to get the music ready to lower. I have to...
See? There's your behind the scenes what goes on in streaming. Never just hitting the goddamn start broadcast button.
Yeah. There's a lot of setup here. So, yeah, he's actually it's actually a hologram next to me right here.
Yeah, because apparently I keep going fuzzy to clear. It's weird.
Yeah. So, all right. Boom. Yeah, I got that whisper. So what was the question that we had here? I've also got some from Dirk that he sent me beforehand. Got a question in here. What kind of guns you talking about, my man?
Yeah.
These guns.
He is Air Force ROTC, so he'll be the infantry.
Other questions we have. All right, Dirk sent me a bunch.
Straight bypass that one.
All right, what game, series, or sequel would you like to see reboot themselves or change? Kind of like what Assassin's Creed Origins did.
Say that one more time.
What game, series, or sequel would you like to see reboot themselves or change? Kind of like what Assassin's Creed Origins did, where they went back to the beginning and then like explained and like completely rechanged how Assassin's Creed works.
Reboot. Reboot. Funny. I think it's already being done.
Yeah.
Command and Conquer.
Like bring it into this generation of gaming.
Yep. But they are doing a not a remake, a remaster. So Command and Conquer, and it's already being done.
Command and Conquer. There you go. For me, what would I like to see rebooted? Something that I would play a ton of. I mean, they're doing it all over the place now. Like you said, they're doing it with a lot of stuff. I mean, shit, they're redoing Call of Cthulhu. They did it with God of War, you know, where they called it God of War 1 and then moving forward. Well, they didn't call it 1, but they just called it God of War. They've got a lot of games seem to be moving towards the new age of gaming anyway. So like anything they do is kind of like revitalizing it, turning into something that's so I don't have anything that jumps out because I've already got so much to play as is.
Oh no, I would sink if they played, hey, we're remaking Command and Conquer, do this. I would sink. So I want my RTS to come back. Any RTS, Empire, Earth, fucking Age of Empires, like that. Just give it to me. Give it to me. Rise of Nations. Supreme Commander is still going, but if they actually took that and did it, oh, just that. Bring back RTS. How about that? Insert XYZ.
Seems to be a dying category, though.
Well, you know, MOBAs, but whatever.
Maybe they do that to themselves, though. Kind of like what they did with Dawn of War 3.
There was no fucking reason for Dawn of War 3 to do what they did.
Yeah.
That's what happens.
And I played it.
That's what happens when you design a game around esports and you forget the core foundation. You fuck it up. So.
I mean, you're not wrong, Spank Bank, because we all know Origins Odyssey takes way longer to complete than it did for Assassin's Creed 3 and Revelations. I mean, it's that's a multi-level comment. There's to make it, and there's also to play it, as it takes longer to reboot that kind of stuff. So
I did and people will probably the subcom community is very torn. Speaking of just Supreme Commander, there's the people who say Forged Alliance, greatest, period, hated Supreme Commander 2, can't believe they did what they did. There's people that are like, oh, Supreme Commander 2 is not bad, and then the guys want to crucify those people. And it's like, honestly, there's a lot of quality of life improvements in Supreme Commander 2, but they also dumb down a lot of shit. So if they can have that nice meshing where tier 1 units aren't useless in late game like they were, Supreme Commander 2 made upgraded your units as you progressed, so even your tier 1 units weren't useless. So just shit
it was fun. Some of the ones I've played, upgrading your dudes.
Yeah, they just progressively get better as you advance on the tech tree. That was cool.
Yeah, and then figuring out who I'm fighting and what I need to start getting into, like this side of this race or whatever. Or Company of Heroes had which way you can spec your army, which based on the map and who you're fighting. Like if you're fighting the Germans because they can go towards the 88. You probably want to go a little bit more, I think, armor because it's mobile.
Are we talking
heavy
Company Heroes?
Fighting power? Yeah. So that was the direction you can go there, and it's not. I don't know if I was thinking when you were saying RTS, I don't know if I want them to reboot Company of Heroes. I feel like them just making another one would be good.
One. You don't It doesn't get rebooted. It still has a very hard following. That's good to see. But usually it's the fan base. It's not the developer supporting it anymore. Forza Alliance Forever is the community releasing patches to patch and keep the game going to this day, which is insane. But I don't think there's ever been something to that scale in a long time that's not a 4X game. So, like, oh man, if they had, I'm not gonna lie to you, if they announced another Supreme Commander, I would fucking get such a raging heart on this desk with Lift. No shit. No shit. As soon as someone says they're making another Supreme, I'd be like, wouldn't even finish the sentence. I'd be like, footage now. Where?
So kind of like when they said they're gonna make another. I remember at E3 they said they're making another Beyond Good and Evil, and I was like, oh, fuck yeah!
Yep.
Oh man, I really like the first, like stuff like that. I guess. I mean, I guess they're already doing it. But one that does come to mind, and it's also kind of a genre of games that they don't really make anymore, is for me, after thinking about it a bit, would be the Brothers in Arms style, where you've got you and your team, and you've got your micromanaging of your team. Like, hey, set up a base of fire. Like, I like that. I like playing stuff like that. They don't really make those anymore.
No, Arma.
Well, I guess they're so fucking stupid. Your AI is so fucking stupid, dude. I've tried, and I have not played all the campaigns in Arma that I have. I have all the Armas and all the DLCs except for the new ones. And I tried playing, and I'm just like, dude, these guys are fucking idiots.
Yeah, they are.
God damn. I mean, they'll bound towards the enemy and shit, but it's not like Brothers in Arms where I'm like, dude, he was out. I told him to go stand over there. There was 3 of them. So one of them was out in the open, and he was like, maybe I should just go 5 more feet to the right and get behind this cover. You know, like it was an older game, and they still did shit like that.
Just good programming, bro.
Yeah. Yeah.
There's those if then else statements I was telling you about.
So Airborne would like to see some Shadowrun remakes. I still haven't even beaten all the Shadowruns.
I have not either, but those are great.
Yeah, they are great, but I just need to sit down and finish them sometime.
I did play Shadowrun Returns, and I'm trying to look at my Shadowrun tabletop RPG book I have sitting on my dresser. Also revealing a lot about myself here because a lot of people know me as the Milsim guy. It's like I have no idea how much of other shit that I'm involved in. But
did you guys not see him do role playing stuff?
Yeah, I've only been doing it for like years.
He's got Pew Pew Anonymous that he does. He's got fucking Adventures of Midgard. Fucking A, man. How do you guys not know this about you? Don't actually know Justin.
No, man. I'm like an onion, except the onion has like 50 million. I'm more like a tree. There's so many different rings and layers in there.
Yeah. Each branch is a different type of branch. Too. It's like a magic. It's like a magic tree. It's pretty cool.
Magic tree, which I have.
Some of them are affected by fall. Some of them are not.
I've got, speaking of magic, I got my Magic the Gathering over there on my dresser too, which like plethora of shit. So.
What was the other one here? Trombones was talking about isometrics.
I think those are still alive and well.
Yeah,
actually.
Yeah, and I don't know if you've played all of the older ones. I don't know about those, and I haven't.
That's
played
Interplay
and
Black
they have aged pretty fucking well too.
Yeah,
so.
Interplay and Black Isle. Anything by Obsidian, bro. Just type in Obsidian and reap in the benefits.
I mean, they just made another Pillars of Eternity.
Tyranny, Pillars of Eternity, fucking Baldur's Gate, Icewind Dale Remastered, done by Obsidian.
Shadowrun.
That was
the old Fallouts. If you want to go play those,
they are the Kingmaker, fucking Pathfinder.
Yeah.
I mean,
I've seen people been playing that.
They're coming back, and they're coming back with a vengeance.
Yeah.
Pretty solidly. Yeah.
So you have played them to death, okay?
Yeah, they're coming back with a strong vengeance right now. I don't think isometric RPGs are gonna any fucking so they were, and they came back. Like they're coming back hard. So
if you have not played it, I think I talked about this last time when we talked about isometrics. If you've not played it, play fucking Tyranny. Tyranny was great. Tyranny was fucking great. Probably my favorite isometric that I've played. There was a lot of great design in that.
Fucking floating skull head was like my favorite. That red personality up the ass. That was awesome.
I've not played those or seen much of them, so.
Planescape
I feel like I could make like my channel and my branding, everything just off isometric RPGs, and I'd be set for a long time.
You know, the one campaign setting in the D&D universe, they did Planescape Torment that I don't think has ever been hit often enough as Loft. It needs to get hit so much more, so much untapped potential there. Everybody does Forgotten Realms, and everybody does Planescape, and everybody does that, but there's never anything on Reloft. It's so fucking untapped. Anyway, that's my nerdism for the day.
There's a lot there that I still have not, and I own and have not beaten. All the Fallouts. Pillars of Eternity. I have not beaten the Baldur's Gate games. Not really, but KOTOR is kind of in that genre. It's not isometric, but it's great. I tried getting through KOTOR. The problem I have is I was playing on my phone.
What?
Yeah, it's on your phone. So was Baldur's Gate 1 and 2. So is
my brain cannot process that. How?
It's hard, but once you get it, thankfully, the nice thing about both those games is that they have pause. Especially when I was playing I got pretty far through Baldur's Gate 1 on my phone before I started running into a place that was glitched. But yeah, I mean, it's a tiny fucking screen. You're like, and I need to play the Icewind Dales. I own those.
Oh yeah.
But well, the problem we had with those is we were trying to do it, but like to set up playing with each other was a fucking nightmare.
I don't fucking know. At this point, just do a joint split screen or something. Fuck.
Yeah.
So hard to get the network connectivity on that.
Yeah. Sucks.
I know I did it with Baldur's Gate 2 though.
Well, they just have a thing where you can just create a room, right? No?
I don't remember, man. This was back in the day of 56K modem, okay? I don't remember. That was direct TCP/IP connection, but not like dial-up. So last time I did it.
But again, I have so many isometric RPGs that I could probably be good for a year. Like, no fucking shit, I would be good for like a year of just playing isometric RPGs.
Man, I fired up Tyranny to finish it. I think I fired up Shadowrun, wasn't Hong Kong, Dragonfall, my creationism, which means I'll probably have to replay it.
Same.
What the fuck I did.
Because I started up, I was doing episodes of, what was China something?
Hong Kong.
Yeah, Hong Kong. I was doing episodes of that, and then I forgot what happened in my life. Something that derailed it.
Oh, Stalker.
Oh yeah, I remember.
Stalker, dude. Oh.
That was a great game.
You can thank Nade because he gave me all the Stalkers and was like, "Remember these?" I was like, "Yeah." It's like, "Here you go." I'm like, "How many hours?"
They're great fucking games, man. I want a new Stalker. That would be another one that I would love to see a new one of. That would be great. I already have so many games though. I'd be like, can you just wait a while if you do that? I don't know. What? Let's see.
Wait, that wasn't Stalker. That was Metro.
That was Metro. All right. Next question. What arcade game do you remember fondly, like stand-up mall arcade games?
Street Fighter 2.
I love playing Area 51.
I like that too, but it was Time Crisis.
That was probably the one I played the most.
Yeah. Area 51, Time Crisis, Street Fighter 2. Street Fighter 2, when I first did a Hadouken with Ryu, I think I shit myself. And then Tekken came around, and that was Virtual Fighter as well. Daytona! Yeah.
Another one that I played a lot of after was on my phone again. Was Metal Slug.
Oh, Metal Slug. I actually played it on, I think it was SNES. So.
Yeah, I didn't have those systems. I had friends that had them.
Oh, yeah.
But I didn't have them. So it was whatever I played over there. I think it was Time Crisis was one that I played a lot on the Genesis. Also played a ton of... What's his fucking name? It's the green ball guy. He's made of balls.
What?
An older game.
If you're not talking about Cubert, I don't know what you're talking about.
Not Cubert, no. Fuck.
He's made of balls.
Vector Man. There we go. It was Vector Man.
You want to go real old? We can talk Frogger.
I think it was on my Windows 98 computer.
Alley Cat. That wasn't.
I had the emulator thing that had like all the arcade games on it. So I played Altered Beast on there. Another one that I rather enjoyed was I played so many different. I can't remember the names. There's just a bunch of. I would just hop through the list, but I don't like this one. Let's buy this one. Don't like this one. Never been a fan of anything for that era that had anything to do with like trying to emulate real life. I don't give a shit about that.
Played a lot
stuff
of
that was like go run around your neighborhood or whatever and talk to people. Like, I don't give a fuck about that.
Golden Axe. Oh, Gauntlet.
Yeah, Gauntlet was good. I remember playing a lot of Gauntlet. Yeah. Didn't they try to make a new one and it kind of flopped?
Yeah. I think they've all flopped.
Yeah. I don't see them being able to make another of most of those and it being very good if they try to enter the new world of gaming. It doesn't really translate as well. So, yeah. Let's see. Yeah, I mean, it's basically those arcades.
Boom.
Let's see. What is your take on the speedrun controversy with Slayer Rage using Titan skating for a world record Last Wish run? Mostly for Nade, but wants Justin's input on game exploits for speedruns and such. So basically what happened there is the Last Wish raid. There's this thing that everybody's using on PC now with, the Titan jump is like the lift or whatever. You can hit it multiple times while you're flying around. So somebody made a program where you can get a macro for it that's the most efficient use of it so that you pretty much are, your speed goes up, like it's crazy. You're crazy fast now.
So in other words, they're using a program to modify it, correct?
It's not necessarily modifying the game, it's just hitting the spacebar perfectly for you.
But it's utilizing a program to do that, right?
Yeah.
It's the same level as cheats, so fuck you.
All right. I mean, you can tell when you play against somebody in Crucible 2 that uses it, because you just see them go, and you're just like, bruh. I guess from one side, a thing there is we'll look at like other speedrun games. They use exploits like fucking crazy for speedruns, especially the Dark Souls games.
Yeah, built into the game.
Well, yeah.
You're not using a third-party program,
glitch right? Through a wall or something.
Yeah, so it's already built in the internal fabric of the game. You're just exploiting that. Okay, well, fine. You're not using a third-party program, right?
So I guess maybe another analogy would be like playing, say, Legend of Dragoon, and you're using a turbo controller for the Super.
Oh, it's like, okay, well then why can't I just have a program that just fucking plays the game for me? Like, why am I even playing the game if I can use third-party exploits? What's the difference?
Like if you just have a bot set up to do it. There have been those in Crucible as well.
Where do you draw the line?
People using bots.
Where do you draw the line? So now you're using a third-party program to facilitate your speedrunning that lets you utilize a spacebar or whatever. So where's the line drawn?
Fair point. Like, why don't you just learn to do that on your own with your thumb?
Yeah. So then, is it really you? Because at that point, you're using what's the difference? Where's that hard line being legit speedrun and assisted?
Yeah. I mean, I guess you could also get a program that fires the weapon for you at its max efficiency.
Yeah. So again, it's cheats as far as I'm concerned, or console commands. Like it's the same thing. Well, why wouldn't I use an aimbot? Efficient for shooting,
Like, well, you could aim and be that good, but it's doing it for you is the thing.
So there you go.
So I guess okay.
That's how I feel about it. Fuck you.
If they call it tool-assisted run, it's fine.
As long as you're honest with it, fine.
Yeah, I guess.
Oh, shit.
There you go, big head. Fucking hacker. How dare you? How dare you? It's I mean, my view, I play Titan and I don't use it. And, you know, I thought about trying it out, but like, why can't I just learn to do that on my own?
I don't know too much about it. If you're using, I don't know. It's just that's a dangerous line. I don't really care because I don't really do speed running and whatever. But like to me, if you're what always entraps me about speedrunners is they're not using anything but the game itself, and that's skill. You know, if you're using exploits because you know those exploits you can execute, cool, in the game engine. But if you have to use third-party software to facilitate that, then how is that legit? You know?
Yeah.
So, like, I would feel dirty, you know? Oh yeah, I did the speed run. Did you use this? Yeah, and I'd be like, you want to like hide it. So
yeah, you wouldn't want people to know that this is what you used to do it.
Yeah, like if you feel dirty about it, then is it legit? So,
well, it's caused a huge problem with them and the community and stuff, and people being salty against them for it. And like, wait, you use that? And then it's brought up that exact question of like, is that okay to do that then? And I would say, I mean, I'm not going to use it, and I would say, especially in PvP, no. You can't have shit that alters and makes you more efficient for you. The game already has so much shit in it that makes it fucking, like, it's unbalanced bullshit. Like, why do you have to add third-party programs on top of that to be even more ridiculous? So, I'll agree there. All right. Salty salt. We've heard about the stories from the employees of Telltale. Now Rockstar talking about 100 hours work weeks. Do we as the consumer need to say we'll wait for games so that those that make it can have normal lives? Will the video game labor need to unionize soon? Will video game labor?
Wow.
Okay.
Fuck you, Dirk, and your deep questions. Here's the thing. Addressing your first one, what makes you think that you as a consumer are going to have any impact on business protocols for employees?
You're not wrong. I mean, the individual can say, I will not pay for this, but
because you won't pay for this because of the conditions? Because you're paying for a product. So saying that you'll wait isn't necessarily going to change the business practice of how they're going to do things. It's not going to suddenly make them ethical.
Yeah.
So,
I mean, how many gamers are actually going to go on strike from stuff? Like, I'm not going to buy that or play it, and everybody actually agrees. Most people don't give a fuck.
No, it's a matter.
I have to tell myself that most of the time, is most people don't give two fucking shits, and they just want to enjoy themselves, and that's what games are to them. It's not as big of a deal as it is for some of us more hardcore gamers.
I would say it's mostly on the most people that are going to have the impact of the employees themselves. I mean, I don't know if I understand that there's a crunch time in that industry, and so maybe 100 hours is really an uncommon thing, but that's kind of on the individual employee to say, okay, enough's enough, fuck this and bounce. That's going to have the most impact on the company. If you have 100 fucking employees walk out there working on a project, that's guarantee you is going to have the most impact. With the consumer itself, you're paying for a product.
Yeah. I guess you could look at it kind of like if you compared it to anything else that you would buy, like say cereal, specific like Cheerios, and you buy Cheerios, and apparently the people that work in the Cheerios factory are getting overworked. That doesn't really affect your, I mean, yeah, you're a caring individual and you're empathetic and stuff, and that sucks for them, but end game, are you getting your Cheerios or fucking not? You know, like
I mean, I'm sure it would help a lot of people out to know care about, and yeah, so let yourself be known, but in the grand scheme of things, it's going to be on the employee to do that. As far as unionizing,
there's pros and cons to that, right?
I don't know enough about working in that industry to make that statement. I don't know. I know.
From what I understand is it's so different from every company to another.
I mean, I know more than your average fucking Joe, but at the same time, it's like, yeah, I don't know. I really don't know.
Yeah.
I think it's a matter of it does get things to move, but at the same time, it's again the most impact you're going to have on a company is the employees themselves. And this coming from a business name myself, the consumer is being an outcry, but when you employees, if you say you're going to work 100 hours and the employees do it, I'm not going to give a fuck.
Yeah.
Cold hard truth. But if 100 employees bounce on me, that's definitely going to have a more significant impact on like how I run things. Consumers going, oh my god, you shouldn't do this to people, blah blah blah, da 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 da. I'm not going to care. So
yeah,
because how does that facilitate the end state project goal? It really doesn't. If I'm going to get my 100 hours out of you anyway, work under those conditions, how's that affect anything? It really doesn't, because you're going to get a quality product, you're going to buy it, you're going to pay for it.
Well, I mean,
but making things more aware is good. Absolutely.
Yeah.
So,
and a lot of companies do have a tendency of firing everybody that's been there a while that have pretty good benefits when they roll in a new benefit system.
Yeah. So there's not to say there's not anything tangible that can come out of it, but the most impact you're going to have, the most impact is if employees be like, fuck you, I'm not doing it. I'll go somewhere else.
Yeah.
There you go.
Well, and then I guess the game company would just be like, if they unionize, the studio could just be like, well, we don't hire anybody in that union. So you just fucked yourself.
Well, then I guess
out of a job.
Then well, fine. Then there's the economy's, well, that goes into a whole other discussion. But it's what are you willing to put up with as an employee? What is the company willing to facilitate to those needs? It's just like any other interview. It's the same thing I've always told everybody else. It's ultimately you're responsible for your life and under what conditions you want to work under, and what you're willing to accept from an employer and everything else. So if I'll tell you right now, I won't work, even if it is in the industry. If like you're in 100-hour weeks, I'll be like, fuck you. Period. I like my life too much.
Yeah.
So
well, and there's also the side of it that said, are you just being a little bitch?
Well,
like, I mean, not you, but I just mean like the employee that's bitching. I mean, we've all met people that like everything is fucking wrong with everyone, and everyone hates them.
I don't think anybody would argue that 100 hours being 100 hours a week is being a bitch.
I guess it depends on the job.
100 hours a week.
When we were active, right?
Okay, well, there's a difference though. It's
that's
understanding.
My perception on that. So.
Okay, well, there's a difference. It's understanding the foundation for infantry, right? So we understood, it's the military. Like your job, it's not a job, it's a lifestyle. You're doing it 24/7. So from the time you wake to the time you sleep,
it's not really a living. Yeah, like not. It's
not. Hey, we have 40-hour weeks and that's accepted, and now we're gonna fucking bounce 100 hours on you. It's like, no. This isn't my lifestyle. I have a life. I go to work and then I come home. There's separatism. It's not a lifestyle. So it's not as soon as I wake, I'm sleeping, breathing this fucking company. Like, if I own stock in the company or business owner, absolutely, I'm working and living and breathing it 24/7 because there's vested interest. But as an employee, no.
Yeah.
So I don't know. I guess it comes down to the individual employee and what to deal with. It's kind of always what it comes down to. I do know there's crunch time during dev periods where people basically sleep in the office and shit. That's not new. But I don't know. It's kind of on the individual employee. You know?
Yeah. I mean, if you want to work in that field or that particular job, that's on you. And there's too many. There's really, in my opinion, about the subject, there's too many factors that go into exactly what's going on in that company with the individual and their boss. I mean, what was going on with Telltale was also that they had some really fucking asshole leadership. That was the second
part of that question, yeah.
Yeah. They had some asshole managers. That was a problem there. So obviously that's a problem. That's not cool. And we've all had bosses that are fucking dick butts. So, you know, obviously that's not okay.
I mean, you might as well have said ass butt there, fucking Castiel.
Ass butt. What are you doing? I'm trying to get drunk. But yeah. I mean, unionizing in a good way if it brought more quality out. If from a consumer standpoint, if it brought more quality content out, I'm for that. But I understand it's still a fucking business.
It might be a cool ass project that you want to work 100 hours a weekend. Maybe it's nothing.
Yeah,
I don't know.
Yeah,
to me,
or like,
I gotta have work-life balance. I have to have work-life balance.
Yeah, one thing that I thought about when I was going to school for game design was the newest Batman game. There was a guy that for a whole year all he did was make Batman's cape and how it flowed. That's all he did.
Yeah, I mean, there's definitely passion there. It's like I don't know the circumstances of what Rockstar is doing. Like I'm just now hearing about this and basing it off that. It's like I'm just looking at like now if the job I'm currently working in right now told me we're gonna work 100-hour weeks, I would quit. Hands down. Hands fucking down. I'd be like, I'm done. You can go fuck yourself, and good luck in your fucking endeavors, and good luck hiring somebody that's gonna do shit. If it was a ZFG Nation project and they said, hey, we need to fucking crunch on this for fucking a month, I have no problem doing that, but it's mine, you know.
Yeah, you're very invested.
You know, or if it's like something that's part of my creation process. When you have something that's and maybe, you know, people want to do that, but there's gotta be like some of these people have families, some of these people have this, that, and the other to do. It's like, again, it's on the individual employee, you know. It's kind of difficult to gauge that when you work in I guess an art industry, design industry. So
yeah,
some people that's what they live for, so it's like nothing to them. That's fine.
Yeah, I mean, like streaming, right?
Yeah.
Streaming can easily become something that you do 24/7.
I wouldn't have a problem with that. I wouldn't have a problem with 100 hours in streaming because I enjoy that shit. But again, if it's like, there's a difference between enjoy doing it and saying it's mandated. Like if somebody said you will stream 100 hours a week, I'd be like, fuck you.
Yeah.
Just because. That's just me though. I'm kind of a guy. I like.
Hey, maybe if Twitch paid me better, I would. But
now, if they said you'll stream 100 hours a week and you're gonna play fucking My Little Pony for those 100 hours, I'd probably quit. You know?
Yeah, I'd be like, all right, okay, never mind. So how's Mixer been?
Yeah. So again, it just depends on those conditions. So
I think we covered that.
Yeah.
We could go on to what ifs for hours.
Yeah, you know, what if I can't hit a square asshole with shit bricks? You know, what if I said fuck with them? I don't know.
Did you know that there's plugs that you can get for your butt so you can poop shapes?
This is gonna go down a rabbit hole that we don't go down.
Also, when that idea was brought up and then somebody brought it to somebody to make them, like, why didn't anybody be like, why the fuck would you want to buy that? And then there's probably, I mean, I get why, but I don't know. What do you do with it? We're not going to get into that. Like, what do you do with it afterward? All right. Okay. So another question from Dirt. Battle Royale genres can trace its roots to Arma. Will the Battle Royale craze circle around back to military tactical shooters being popular?
Okay, this is attacking the fuck out of me. Say that one more time.
Battle Royale genre can trace its roots back to Arma through DayZ. Will the Battle Royale craze circle around back to military tactical shooters being popular? Getting more, I guess, I'm assuming the question is getting more, or to expound upon that would be getting more into more realistic shooters being a more mainstream thing.
Blanket statement. I think when you have a niche market, always be that way. Niche. You know, the more it kind of blanket statement. Generally, the more complex something is, generally, the more niche it is, and generally that means it's not going to be as popular, right?
Yeah. Like EFT. EFT is not a game for everybody, and the devs know that, and that's fine.
So, you know, when you're talking about hardcore tactical military shooters, again, you're talking about a niche because people don't like that. You know what I mean? It's not meant to cater for everybody. It's meant to cater to people who want that niche. So I guess that would depend upon if we'll start warming up to that. Do I think Battle Royale is going to facilitate that pathway?
I don't think so. Because as we've seen with many games that start tendering more towards the larger demographic, simpler is better, and you don't have to take as much time to figure it the fuck out.
Yeah, and you know, it's kind of, I don't know. I don't think so. I really don't.
Yeah, I don't think so.
I really don't.
Maybe kind of like how Battle Royale games have taken elements of more realistic shooters that gives people more of a tactical feeling, but not like Arma will never be the most played game.
No, and that's the thing. There's so many things that factor in. Everybody always thinks, well, tactical means it's one shot can kill you and everything else, and this, that, and the other, and da da da. And it's like there's so much. You're trying to make it complicated question because now you're borderlining on milsim, and you're borderlining on like what's tactical. So I guess then again, like, where's the line drawn of what's considered tactical and what's not? It's like, okay, well, that's why I always say like Arma 3 is the most legit experience you're going to get, because there's all that planning phase and the coordination phase, and you can do warning orders, and you can do 5-paragraph orders and op orders, and facilitate all that, and you know, movement, and you know, setting in phase line, other procedures, which a lot of tactical shooters don't facilitate. It's just the action. It's just the execution phase. There's no planning phase or anything else like that facilitates into it. So it's just the matter of they want to try to simulate the effects of combat. So that's what makes them tactical. Is it's centered towards
like Insurgency Sandstorm.
Right. So that's where that comes into play. I think it's always going to kind of be a niche market. I don't think BRs are going to facilitate that. I think it's always been kind of a thing where it's always kind of been a niche market. It's not going to go away. I can tell you that. But I don't think BR games are going to facilitate that being more mainstream, because it's not a mainstream thing. I don't think it's ever going to be a mainstream thing. It's not going to happen. And it shouldn't be, in my opinion. Because
then it would just dilute it.
Yeah, it shouldn't be. So, no.
Just like what Battlefield was becoming. You could cross map people with a fucking submachine gun, and it's just like,
you know, Battlefield 2 was kind of like tactical aspect. And now I don't even consider Battlefield that tactical.
Yeah, it's just a giant map Call of Duty.
Really fucking don't.
Yeah, it's not. The individualism is what makes it fun. Also, we forgot to talk about it, but your Ground Branch Q&A, I was listening to it, and there was a pretty good point there by was talking about the guy with the accent. What was his name?
Chris.
Chris was saying that like, well, what kind of games do you play? I think one of the questions was what kind of games you play, and he had answered like, going back to the first games that he started playing, what kind of games he likes is like
that's a mod
liking that game that fucking pounds your asshole, and like liking a game like that punishes you for fucking up or not being fast enough.
Well, he was also talking about the pre-Vegas era and the post-Vegas of Rainbow Six. That was John as well. You know,
yeah, some of us like those kind of games, but most people don't.
So that's where, you know, if you ask, Vegas was the game changer of how Rainbow Six was played, because there was no planning phase. There was no go codes, and there was no multiple teams of entry that you control, and that effect. So it was just a situational change. So yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Different.
And I would like those to stay in that niche. Just like you guys are saying there, that you would be kind of pissed if it went mainstream, became more mainstreamy. Although,
I don't know if I'd be pissed. I just don't.
Be a little disappointed. Kind of like how Ghost Recon has gone the route of not being its OG self anymore. So that's a perfect example here, I guess.
People who want that want certain things, and people who want those certain things is not a popular opinion.
Yeah.
You know, there's a lot of things in tactical shooters that most people play mainstream stuff think is boring. They just want to get in there and fucking slay.
Yeah.
And it's like, well, it's not how it works in the real world.
50, 60 hours or whatever. You have kids, blah, blah, blah. You don't have time to sink 8 hours into one mission.
No. It's just. I think it's an interesting transition, but I don't consider even VR games that tactical. Really.
Yeah. You
can make tactical decisions, but I kind of think VR games have more akin to survival games.
Yeah.
Sort of. I mean, position
resource management kind of thing.
But it's more akin to that than it would be anything that's legitimately tactical. I mean, that's kind of the premise of a tactical shooter is different than what the premise of a VR game is. So it's more like it's more like a really big arena with a constantly shrinking arena in one life, as opposed to, you know, any meticulous planning to take down something or conduct an objective other than survive. So
from Tropic Thunder.
You know, when your objective is survival, it's like, well, you can make tactical choices that are going to facilitate that, but there's not really a tactical objective other than survive. You're not claiming a territory. You're not taking down a high value target. You're not.
Right. Well, that's definitely one of the appeals. Is it's different every time.
Right.
So, yeah, it's gonna be different. It's gonna change.
Are we doing questions?
Any other questions here?
Yeah. Are we?
Well, yeah. We had questions in chat too. Yeah.
What was the last true? No, there's a rabbit hole down to what's considered a true tactical shooter or not. But I guess in my opinion, aside from GB or are we talking last true recently? Because last true recently would probably be Rainbow Six 3 Raven Shield. I have to look at my Steam library. Raven Shield probably. Yeah, I'm gonna have to go with that.
True tactical.
True tactical. I honestly don't Insurgency Sandstorm as a true tactical shooter. Honestly, I really don't.
It's more of a realism Counter-Strike.
Yeah.
Yeah, and it's like Ground Branch is tactical, but it's more about getting in there. I mean, you can plan it out and you have to actually use, you know, actual tactics and stuff like that, but it's more about just getting in there and getting it done. Like Matt, you like go into the loading room, get into the battle, not like what we were doing with Arma, where we'd sit at fucking the fob, get everything ready for mission, take 20 minutes to get out there, fucking hit the objective, and then leave.
Yeah, well,
and then do an AAR.
That's the milsim shit right there. That's like, it doesn't get fucking facilitating than that, honestly.
Yeah.
Squad tries. No. No.
The problem is with the player base.
We're not gonna get into
we're not gonna
that.
Yeah. I need to start putting the beat dead horse gif in here whenever squad comes
in.
up.
I'm just like, I just want to have a little game that says squad sucks. It fires off every time someone. Whether it sucks or not, I just don't like. I don't like it.
Yeah.
Period. Why don't you play anymore? I don't like it. Don't ask me to explain why. I've said it 10 million times. I don't like it.
Go look back in TG1. We'll just say that from now. Go watch TG1. It's in there. Yeah. We talked about it at length, so we could cover it. So. All right, hell yeah. We got one more question from Dirk.
Which is?
For Justin.
Oh, man.
PUBG.
Oh, God.
Ring of Elysium.
Why are you doing
this? Or Blops 4. Marry one, fuck one, kill one.
I'm killing PUBG.
Yeah, that's I agree. Kill PUBG.
I'm killing PUBG in a heartbeat. I'm probably gonna marry Black Ops, and I'm gonna fuck ROE because I'd still play ROE on occasion, but I'm still true to Blackout. So that's actually
not on the same level, and I'd agree with you there.
Yep.
And I haven't played Rings of Elysium or Blops, so.
So there you go.
Boom.
Actually, not that complicated of a question.
When I first read it, I was like, "Oh fuck, man! I gotta marry one. I don't know about marrying a game, dude. God, one of those." So you want a free fuck rather than a paid fuck? Well, if you're gonna marry it, you want to put a little more into it, right? Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah.
So.
And who says you get sex when you marry it anyway?
Well, if I'm marrying it, I better be.
I was just going off the stereotypical joke.
Oh, yeah, okay.
Sex stops when you get married. So, do we have any other questions? I need to come up with some way. Like for now, until I come up with that way, you guys can DM me on Discord. Would probably be the best way.
And see,
questions for next TG.
There were questions asked while we were covering stuff that I couldn't get to.
Oh, I have one of those. There was asked about the M8 and its use in the military and stuff like that.
Never touched it. Can't comment. Never touched it.
Yeah, same here.
Talking about the XM8. Yeah, never touched it. I mean, I've used other
XM8.
stuff, but I assume he means the XM8. So yeah, no,
never
touched it.
There was not an X.
I'm in the Marine Corps, bro. You would talk to him about that shit. I don't get prototype.
I didn't get that.
Fucking
man.
Army.
I never got that. I didn't get that.
We get what works and get like 20 more years of life out of it, and then we get the we've been getting a little bit better with weapon systems now, but wasn't until recently. Yeah.
We did have some cool guy shit, I'll admit, like thermals that do both night vision and thermal. No. We had on deployment. We had some shit that was it had a dual mode where you could do when it picked up a heat source past a certain threshold, it would show it on your night optics. Justin's sitting over here with I guess you just got like a fucking, I would imagine like the eclipse thing or whatever, or something like. Holds up a lantern. There you go.
Still drop bodies. God damn it. Whatever. Fuck it.
Rear nods, lantern. There you go. Yeah. No, we had some cool stuff.
How is that going to help me do my job better? I don't know.
Specifically the M8 or those
fucking dual purpose shit. One or the other. Why do I need both?
Well, I mean, I never got to use them myself, but I fucked with them. So I also had some of the stuff we had was because my CO, I guess, made buddy with some people, and we got some cool stuff, and also paid out of like his budget to get us stuff.
You know what I think of all this gear? My first wait.
Yeah, no, you're not wrong.
Fuck that.
Like I had a headset that plugged into my radio that also had noise canceling in it when I needed it. It also had another system where I could boost sound if we needed to be a little more quiet. It also had another system in it that was, well, the noise canceling was to block out specifically gunshots.
You talking about Peltors?
I don't think they were Peltors. There was something else. And they I didn't need a mic for it because it picked it up off my ear canal. So those were kind of nice, except for whenever I stood next to a vehicle, it would actually just magnify the vehicle, so I couldn't hear anything. So they weren't perfect, but it was just like, so all I could hear was just I'm like, let me turn these off. That's but I remember the first time I tried them out, they gave them to me, and there was somebody sitting in a folding chair with a little bit of pad on it. And they got up, and I heard all the fibers like reform as they got up, and I was like, "Oh my god, I'm a superhero now!" Kind of cool. But.
Whatever.
Don't need that shit. But then I stopped using it after a while. But yeah, most of that stuff, in all honesty, when you get there, or when it came down to using shit. That wasn't what you were using. It was just your fucking weapon. You know? It was the simple shit. It wasn't...
Sorry, you're not...
Came down to that.
You're not going to become a room clearing god because you have fucking equipment. It's all about the training, which is where a lot of our funding actually goes to. So, I mean, yes, it would be fucking nice, but here's the problem with when you get Gucci stuff. That at some point you develop reliance on it, and then the skill sets go out the window. So you're actually making yourself worse off.
Yeah. Yeah. What about I remember so many times when we were training in the woods in southern fucking Georgia. Those woods are thick. And so thick ass woods on an almost non-existent loom night, my nods are pointless. They don't do anything for me.
You have
it's
no
just
depth
green.
Perception anyway. Good luck smacking the fucking million trees you see.
Yeah. Yeah, and I remember first sergeant getting fucking pissed at me. He's like, "Why are your nods up?" It's like, they're not doing anything for me. I'm seeing better without them. Like, oh, like even then, it's not going to be perfect. And nods aren't magic, people. They need light to work.
It's magnification of starlight, or just light. So it's like,
Yeah, they're also pointless if you're going into a compound that's lit.
Yeah.
So
well, I mean, that's
also pointless.
That's where a lot of that, when you're doing VBSS or on a ship, especially, we just keep them candid right above here, so you can transition between your fucking light and dark areas.
Yeah. And you had the dual ones?
In
7
Stapleton,
deltas?
I did.
Yeah. And then you eventually got the single 14s?
I didn't have the 7 deltas. Fuck that. PBS 14s and then fucking the dual monocle PBS 15s. So, which they call them.
I had 7 deltas for the longest time.
Really?
I hated them. Hated them.
No. So, I
don't know why you need to cover both eyes with a night optic device. It's stupid in my opinion. But
I didn't get super gooch until Stapleton. It wasn't necessary before that.
Wind's howling, Doc. All right. You got shit to do. We went through, we've been going for about 3 hours. And I've been recording the whole thing, so I got that to edit. Oh, I got shit to do, man.
Going to Hard Rock Casino, I think, is all. So, go to casino, eat, enjoy the livelihood, and then see where it goes from there. I think we're both pretty content with hitting a lazy button right now.
You ever had their red, white, and blue burger?
No, but I guess that's on the fucking list now, huh?
It's pretty good.
White and blue burger. They have the
pretty good.
They have the Toby Keith bar in there. So, any fucking save rounds, last minuters?
Yep. Anybody? Huh? No.
Alibis. Blackout.
But yeah, again, you got questions during the week that you want on TG. You won't be able to do it next week, right?
Nope, I will be in Indiana with family.
Okay, so it'll be 2 weeks from now. So during these 2 weeks, while we're streaming, if you have questions specifically for TG, DM me on Discord, and I'll write them all down. That's while you're watching Justin, and you got a question that you want to put on TG. You're watching me, you got a question you can put on TG, and we'll do that. And thank you all very much. Awesome sauce. Bueno. Still got the Divinity screen because I was gone for most of last week.
God.
I was gone, man. And I was not in the mood to work on stuff when I got back. So, yeah. And this new deodorant I have makes my pits itchy.
Yeah, Scavel, I'll be at Northeastern too. So, yeah, back home. Back home, man. Back home. Back home for a week and then back down.
So if you guys want to know where you can watch more Justin, if you wouldn't mind.
Oh, God, I gotta shout myself out.
Yeah.
Yeah, if you want to see a fucking opinionated asshole curses a lot and says, shit on stream, you can look at that link up there. And my Twitter, which I post some stuff sometimes. So we can talk about all kinds of deep, controversial topics and, piss people off. So.
Yep, Justin Red 87, as you guys see on screen, on Twitch, Twitter, and Cobra493 on YouTube.
Yep.
And I am the Nade face. It's the same on everything, as you see it. So, bueno. Yeah, good to go. So we'll see you all guys in 2 weeks on TG. Thank you very much.